Pirates awakened Conqueror at the beginning chapter 21 to 40. Chapter 21 _ I will slap you to death with a slap again. Impel down, above the ground floor. Captain, there's another bitch here, just let him take us to the giant elevator. Ryokugyu glanced at Domino's shivering eyes, and his pretty face was full of pale dominoes, showing a smile that he thought was gentle, but in Domino's eyes, it looked like very death smile. Elevator ladder. Maybe we don't need it anymore. Fujitora on the side heard it, and his brows narrowed. As soon as he said this, Ryokugyu was stunned. There's no elevator, so how can we? Before Ryokugyu could finish speaking, Fujitora Vivi drew his left katana sword. Open black lens bracket gravity suppression close black lens bracket. The Fujitora Hall let out a soft drink, and suddenly the gravity in the air not far in front of the three of them suddenly rose sharply, and the next moment, with a bang, Fujitora penetrated the circular hole directly into the ground floor, Gurren Hell. Sure enough, this blind man is still better than me. Ryokugyu looked at the circular hole in front of him and was filled with emotion. It wasn't that he didn't expect to smash through it with a single punch, but he didn't know what the prison floor was made of. He couldn't break it with a single blow with all his strength. The wall materials are very different. Dodged into the underground layer of Gurren Hell, leaving Domino in a daze in the wind. They were just. That Fujitora Isho is so strong that it can even penetrate the ground built by marine with extremely high purity sea stone. Now Impel Down is afraid that it will encounter an unprecedented enemy. As the red hair pirates crazy. This behavior is no less than a war with marine. Don't talk about Domino, I'm afraid even Whitebeard can't believe it at this moment, then this will break into Impel Down in this way. No plan, no strategy, just one word, dry. Use absolute strength to do everything in front of you. Kuro's star hidden in the distance immediately boiled abnormally, and they saw the previous experience clearly. Hey tilde my god, that Ryokugyu is too strong. Breaking the walls of Impel Down with one punch, the vice captain is amazing. That's not it, and our vice captain Ryokugyu is probably the weakest among the captains and vice captains Fujitora Isho. Tisk tisk, this operation, even our red-haired captain would not dare to attack Impel Down so openly. Now Kadribaizi is afraid to become Marine's public enemy. Hey, now our captain and the red-haired pirates are in the limelight, and Marine is going to hate us for a long time. ... Listening to the heated discussions of the pirates on the ship, Kuro Star stared blankly at the direction of Impel Down. Baizi, that guy. How long did it take? He led the two co-captains alone into Impel Down. This is something that I have never dared to think about in my very poor life. Baizi actually did it. Presumptuous. Where is the kid who dares to break into the Gurren Hell of your Lord Bruglila, courting death? The loud sound pierced the air, passed through the layers of obstacles, and rang above Impel Down. When this sound came out, the dozens of marine warships guarding Impel Down were all dumbfounded. There was an uproar. What? How can it be? Gurren Hell so quickly, how the hell could this be? They had to go through a giant elevator on each floor of Impel Down to enter the next floor. How long did it take? Less than 5 seconds before and after, they went directly to the first floor of Gurren Hell. How did they do it? Many of the subordinates on the Baizi pirate ship heard it, and their eyes widened. Horse, the captain and the two co-captains are here, entering the first layer of Gurren's Hell. Gurren Hell. Ryokugyu looked at Bruglila, who was weirdly shaped like a monster, holding a big axe, and without a word, slapped the jailer of Gurren Hell with a slap. Look at Lao Su hacking you. Bruglila raised the axe in his hand and slashed at the palm he wanted to slap, but he didn't notice the disdain in Ryokugyu's eyes. Under the palm of your hand. In the horrified eyes of Bruglila, he directly smashed the sharp axe that he was proud of, and then slapped Bruglila's head into his stomach with a slap. Died on the spot. Noisy boy. Immediately, Ryokugyu turned his head hesitantly. Captain, Fujitora, I like this place so much, let's continue, leave it all to me. Ryokugyu was so excited that he strode forward as if he had been beaten with blood. All the jailers in Impel Down were lying on the ground without exception. All of them were slapped in the stomach by Ryokugyu, and the death was terrible. A while. The first floor of Guren's hell was completely occupied, except for the 3 Baisi and the prisoners who were detained, and there was no one breathing guard. Clap tilde. Clap 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 tilde tilde tilde. After another, Ryokugyu quickly released the many criminals on the first floor, and this was one of the purposes of their trip. Ow tilde tilde. Ha 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 ha, I'm free, I'm free. Riding on a horse, your uncle, Impel Down, I will make you look good when I go back. Bastard Marine, I've been locked up for 10 years, I finally came out tilde tilde tilde. Immediately, the unkempt pirates rushed out of the cell in waves, all gathered in the corridor, and appeared in front of Baisi like this. Hee hee, did this kid save us? The people around found Baisi and the 3 of them, he said with laughter, but they didn't have too many feelings, and the field was chaotic for a while. Silence for the old man. Fujitora frowned. He didn't shoot Marine. It didn't mean he had a good face for these vicious pirates. To be honest, if the pirates hadn't owned the captain, he would have killed everyone immediately. At the same time as the voice fell, an extremely heavy force of gravity suddenly broke out, and it was caught off guard on the shoulders of hundreds of people in the field. Among them, a small half of the weaker ones even directly stuck to the ground. A little, Fujitora withdrew its gravity, and hundreds of criminals in the field were gasping for breath. What are you talking about? I'll slap you guys to death again. Ryokugyu didn't have the same temperament as Fujitora, and he was murderous immediately. However, Guren Hell has a lot of hard stubble, and Ryokugyu will be ignored. Bah, kid, who do you think you are tilde? Mad, think that if we save us, we can do whatever we want, what kind of stuff tilde? Hey, when I was a pirate, you were still in the mud. 7 or 8 thorn-headed pirates, their eyes are full of jokes, they will not buy it. Hey, is that so tilde tilde tilde? Ryokugyu's diabolical issue flashed, and the next moment was a slap on the forehead of the person with the highest clamor, slapped his head directly into his stomach, and then clap 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 tilde tilde. One after another, after 6 or 7 dull sounds, the people who were clamoring before stepped into the footsteps of their heads and stomachs again. The method is very spicy, far beyond the cognition of everyone present, and everyone's eyes are protruding. How is this guy in front of him possible? A slap slapped his head into his dry stomach. Wow, this cliff is dead, and all of a sudden, the audience didn't dare to take a sip. Any comments now? Ryokugyu glared at the hundreds of people present. Mada, a bunch of cowards, if anyone leaves here before we come back, these people will be his fate. Ryokugyu is overflowing with magical power, and his posture is even more pirate than a pirate, and he is overbearing to the extreme. However, all the criminals in Guren Hell swallowed their saliva. Grandma, is this guy a devil? Chapter 22 Fujitora is Shav's Warden Magellan. The second floor underground, the Hell of Beasts. Supreme Leader Sphinx, Office of the Sphinx. Captain Magellan, the leader of the second basement floor, Sphinx, who received the phone call, immediately looked respectful and stood upright. What? The intruder has breached the first underground floor. There are 3 people. Okay, I understand the warden. Don't worry, I promise with my life that they will stay on the second basement forever. Sphinx patted his chest and assured that after hanging up the phone, before he had time to issue a combat order, he heard a loud boom, resounding throughout the Hell of Beasts. What happened? The Sphinx felt a shock like an earthquake, and asked with a frown, knowing that he had just issued a military order with Warden Magellan. No, something big happened. Big Sphinx. Big, my lord, the intruder has invaded the Hell of Beasts. Monticola and Lord Buggy Risk are blocking the intruder. The situation is extremely bad. The intruder is very strong. Before the jailer could finish speaking, 2 bloody heads broke through the door and fell in front of the Sphinx. The jailer who came to report the letter looked back at the corridor, all of whom were on the second floor. monster, but now it has completely turned into a corpse. Lord Buggy risk in the words of the jailer. Bastard, how dare you? Angry Sphinx could finish speaking. Ryokugyu immediately slapped the Sphinx on the head, and in the next moment, a corpse with its head slapped into the stomach appeared again. Ah, you evil demons. The jailer who came to report saw the tragic scene, and his eyes immediately passed out. Obviously, what happened in front of him was far beyond his tolerance. Like the underground layer of Gurren Hell, after falling into the monster hell, Ryokugyu went down to the third layer after killing a few thorn-headed criminals according to the gourd painting. A quarter of an hour later, the fourth floor of Impel Down, Burning Hell. The three of Baizi slaughtered the first 3 floors and came here. Ryokugyu did not know how many Impel Down guards he had killed. Roar tilde tilde. As soon as they came to the 4th floor of the Scorching Hell, the 3 of Baizi met the 4th floor jailer beast zebra monster, but they were still punched out by Ryokugyu, and their bodies were lying on the ground. For Ryokugyu, these Impel Down guards are really not enough to watch. Then, under Ryokugyu's hands, the koala monster, the rhino monster, the cow monster. Exception, they were all killed by Ryokugyu alone. Tilde. Tilde tilde tilde. Just after Ryokugyu killed another jailer beast, a crisp sound came from the scorching hell on the 4th underground floor, and quietly, a burly shadow comparable to Ryokugyu appeared. The next moment, a man in a black uniform with a pair of black horns on his head appeared, staring at the 3 of Baizi with cold eyes. The 14th cadre of the red-haired pirates, and 2 traders of marine, even trespassed on Impel Down. It's a bit interesting. The person who came was none other than Impel Down's strongest fighting force, and also the ruler of Impel Down, Magellan, the owner of the poisonous fruit. However, since I've come to the 4th floor, it seems that I'm qualified enough to let me take action. You're very strong. Ryokugyu looked at Baizi after seeing Magellan, and he looked at Baizi. Captain, this person is Magellan. Yes, he has the poisonous fruit that I prepared to give you. Baizi glanced at Magellan across from him. This is an innocuous existence in the eyes of others, but it is the same in his eyes. A swipe. Fujitora Ichiro's eyes flashed fiercely, and he dodged in front of Shirasawa and Ryokugyu. Leave this person to me, Captain Ryokugyu, you all go down. Fujitora you. Ryokugyu was a little stunned when he heard Fujitora's words. Didn't he say before that he would not shoot Marine? Why now? Okay, be careful. Looking at Fujitora's gloomy face, the next ruler of Impel Down is afraid to be miserable. He shouldn't say that he is Marine in front of Fujitora trader. This undoubtedly angered his bottom line. It is also for this reason that Fujitora Isho no longer insists on his principle of not shooting Marine. Well, Captain, how do we get down? Ryokugyu looked at the empty searing hell, and asked a slightly embarrassed question while rubbing the back of his head. Go on, it's easy. Saying that Baizi controlled the shaking fruit, the ground roared, and immediately the 2 of them loosened their feet and fell directly to the 5th floor of the extreme cold hell. Just landed on the 5th floor, the goal is the world of ice and snow. Anyone who can be imprisoned here is a pirate with a bounty of over 100 million. You must know that the temperature here is lower than that of an ice cave. Meanwhile, on the other side. Scorching hell. Traitor, Fujitora Isho. Magellan once again provoked Fujitora Isho's bottom line. Magellan. It is said that you are a Marine Admiral level powerhouse, old man. Fujitora Isho asked for advice. Fujitora Isho's face was expressionless, but the surrounding gravity had already reached the highest level. Immediately, all the surrounding buildings were destroyed. If Fujitora Isho's gravity was more dispersed, the 2 would have reached the 5th floor by now. Nice gravity, but not enough for me. Poison gas cloud. Quote. Feeling the change in the surrounding gravity, Magellan began to emit poisonous gas at a very fast speed, and soon it covered the battlefield where the 2 were. Open black lens bracket gravity absolute domain close black lens bracket. Immediately, Fujitora Isho pulled out half of the samurai sword in his hand, and then closed it again. The poisonous gas that was about to be tight was squeezed away by the gravity in front of Fujitora Isho, and he could no longer get close. Hee, there are 2 strokes, but it still can't change today's mortal situation. Open black lens bracket poison gas poison dragon close black lens bracket. The gloomy voice swayed, and in the next moment, with Magellan as the center, 3 huge dragon-shaped poisonous, ferocious fangs appeared in the air, staring at the opposite Fujitora Isho like a fat prey. I didn't want to take action, but Your Excellency forced this old man to take action. I will accept your poisonous fruit for Ryokugyu. When Fujitora Isho saw Magellan's shot, he no longer hesitated. Open black lens bracket gravity turbulence close black lens bracket. In an instant, the gravitational force in the field where the 2 were fighting was completely in a state of constant change. Magellan obviously felt this change, and his face instantly turned blue, because he felt that his control over the 3 highly poisonous dragons had been reduced by more than 50%. Damn, arrogant traitor, you are courting death. Magellan took a deep breath, and with a cold snort, he controlled the 3 poisonous dragons to attack Fujitora Isho, and directly pushed the combat power to the peak. Open black lens bracket gravity / close black lens bracket. The developed gravity fruit, the endless influx of katana swords, and the observation hockey armament hockey sword to the highest level. A Marine Admiral level battle immediately unfolded in the impelled down scorching hell. The entire scorching hell became fragile due to the competition between the 2. The faces of the prisoners and guards in the scorching hell changed dramatically, and their eyes were full of appalled and terrified. Chapter 23 Warden Magellan. After a while. After Ryokugyu domineeringly overturned the 5th floor, Baizi and the 2 came to the infinite hell on the 6th underground floor again. Anyone who can be imprisoned here is an extraordinary person. The people inside are either death row prisoners or life imprisonment. The people among them are monsters and characters that are too ferocious and erased from history. The prisoners on this floor are all very strong guys, waiting for their end. In addition to the death penalty is life imprisonment. The group destroyed Impel Down's guards in the 6th city, and Baizi and the 2 finally came to the deepest destination. Without much words, Ryokugyu immediately blasted the cell with 1 punch, freeing many unpardonable prisoners. Straight Jinbei, Crocodile, Katarina Tippin, Bacchus Shot, Huge Battleship Sanyuan Wolf. And so on are the top criminals with the greatest punishment. If these criminals appear on the top battlefield, that's seen. Thank you, Your Excellency, for your help. Jinbei, the most harmonious of the many criminals, expressed his gratitude, but when he saw Baizi's face, he couldn't help asking, I dare to ask that Your Excellency is the newly promoted 14th cadre of the Red Hair Pirates, the White Seer who killed Drought Jack's confidant, Shipshead. Soon as Jinbei's words came out, many of the rescued prisoners raised eyebrows. They didn't know the person in front of them, but they were all too familiar with the red-haired Shanks. The 4 emperors of the New World, no one knows. The person in front of him is actually a red-haired 14th cadre. It seems that he has some ability, but they really don't take it seriously. Oh, you know our captain. Hearing this, Ryokugyu said proudly, HMPH, what the hell did Sippus do? Even Jack from the Drought of Kaido of the Beasts was wiped out by us when he came. Hey Gia, Drought Jack, one of the 3 disasters of Kaido of the Beasts, was destroyed by you, kid, are you kidding me? Crocodile, who touched his hook, with an evil arc on the corner of his mouth, looked at Ryokugyu playfully. Seeing this, Ryokugyu immediately smashed the space with a punch, and smashed it towards Crocodile with all his unparalleled strength. When Crocodile saw the sudden blow, his face was solemn, and a thick sand wall was immediately formed beside him. As Ryokugyu punched out, it directly penetrated the thick sand wall and then punched hard at the mouth of Kakurodar hung. PFF. Without the slightest hesitation, Crocodile immediately spewed a mouthful of blood into the air, flew upside down, and slammed into the wall, causing serious injuries. Psi tilde tilde. This guy, what a powerful force. Punch. Jinbei and many other prisoners immediately looked at Ryokugyu with different eyes. This guy actually severely injured Crocodile with one punch. You must know that Crocodile was Shichibukai, the former king. Now, do you believe it? Ryokugyu glanced at the crocodile embedded in the wall with disdain. If these people were still useful, they would have been slapped to death with Ryokugyu's temper, and they could still make them scream here. I'll save you out. Tomorrow you and I will go to Marineford to fight against Marine, and then you can leave by yourself. Baizi went straight to the topic and stated his conditions for rescuing them. Hey, a red-haired cadre, you don't know where the old lady is in the New World, and you even told the old lady, ba tilde tilde. Katerina Tippin squinted at Baizi, the boy who was not much younger than her, and his eyes were full of jokes. He really thought that after defeating Crocodile, they would be able to order them like this. Before Delina Tippin could finish speaking, the impulsive Ryokugyu slapped her head into her stomach. Jinbei and the others had no idea when Ryokugyu moved his hand. The corners of his mouth twitched. Mad, this guy is too ruthless. Crocodile, in particular, shrank his neck even more, as if the person who was photographed in his stomach was not Katerina Tippin but him. Who has an opinion? Ryokugyu, who is full of magic power, glanced at everyone with wide-eyed eyes, and no one dared to meet his edge wherever he passed. By the way, are you going to Marineford tomorrow for a man named Ace? Straight Jinbei obviously knew Marine's plan and couldn't help but ask. Not bad. Baizi didn't hide it, these people will know sooner or later. Okay, in that case, I promise to go with you. Jinbei took a deep breath. It could be said that he came in because he resisted Marine's public execution of Ace. Okay, what about the others? Baizi glanced at the other criminals on the 6th floor. He was not a good person. To save these people out, they had to be a coolie. I promise. I agree too. Crocodile and Shot, one after another, joking, with Katerina Tippin's lessons learned, how could they resist? They knew very well that if they didn't agree, the next person to be slapped in the stomach would be themselves. Hey, it's a pity, why did you agree? Ryokugyu whispered from the side, but it sounded like a magic sound in the ears of Jinbei and the others. Especially the palms he was rubbing, the posture seemed to be unfinished, and they secretly swallowed their saliva one by one. Soon, from the 6th floor to the 5th floor, and then back to the 4th floor. Mr. Ryokugyu, who was the one who fought Warden Magellan on the 4th floor, Shanks or Ben Beckman? Jinbei asked Ryokugyu suspiciously. No, it's Fujitora, the vice captain of our ship who is like me. Ryokugyu glanced at Jinbei, who was the only one of them who was more pleasing to the eye. Fujitora, could it be that the Red Hair Pirates are here on your 14th cadre ship? Jinbei, who seemed to realize something, widened his eyes, filled with disbelief. Ah, is that so? It's weird. Ryokugyu rolled his eyes at Jinbei and walked quickly to Baizi's side. Captain, Fujitora should have won. Ryokugyu's words were heard in the ears of Jinbei, Crocodile and others, like being struck by lightning. Shit tilde. The red-haired pirates dispatched a cadre to rescue them. Meow, now the red-haired Shanks is so powerful. Grandma, a cadre's subordinates can stand up to Magellan, the warden of Impel Down, and know what it means with his toes. Soon, the group came to the battle scene. All that caught the eye was a picture that was completely destroyed and mottled. Magellan's venom was everywhere, and there were huge potholes. In the center, a blind man just put the samurai sword into the scabbard, and in front of him was a pothole of at least 10 feet, in which Magellan, the warden they knew, was lying dead. Not far from Magellan, there was a blue devil fruit lying quietly. When Jinbei and the others saw the blue devil fruit, they thought about the situation in front of them, and seemed to realize something. Chi-Chi took a deep breath. My God, could it be? This blind man killed the warden Magellan, and that fruit is Magellan's poisonous fruit. Chapter 24 _ What is Drought Jack? Jinbei, Crocodile and the others looked at Fujitora Isho, who was standing in the field with his katana in his hand, and their eyelids couldn't help but twitch. Come on, these guys are so cruel. Magellan Tilda, the ruler of Impel Down, who was as powerful as Marine Admiral, was killed at the headquarters of Impel Down. And the person who killed Magellan turned out to be just the deputy captain of a cadre of the Red Hair Pirates. Mother, is this the rhythm of Red Hair becoming One Piece, King of Pirates? Jinbei and the others watched. Fujitora controlled gravity and inhaled the blue poisonous fruit into his hands, and threw it to Ryokugyu, who was grinning. I knew that guy was not your opponent. Ryokugyu, who took the devil fruit, grinned Isho, and without the slightest hesitation, directly swallowed the poisonous fruit of Magellan, the strongest of Impel Down. In this scene, the corners of Crocodile's mouth twitched, and what happened in front of them was beyond their expectations. A red-haired cadre, and now he has chosen Marine's strongest prison, Impel Down. After today, the red-haired 14th cadre and the red-haired pirates will be in the limelight, and at the same time, these people will become Marine's enemies of life and death. Impel Down, that is. It can be said that Impel Down is enough to represent Marine's face in a certain way. Now that Impel Down has been invaded, and even the strongest Magellan has been killed, it is no different than a crisp slap on Marine's face. When many criminals in the infinite hell sighed, Ryokugyu had completely digested the poisonous fruit. He clenched his right fist slightly, the blue poisonous fruit ability was attached to it, and punched the ground in front of him. A loud bang. Ryokugyu directly punched the fourth layer of the characteristic, and below it was the fifth layer of ice and snow. Punches enough to withstand Fujitora's gravity suppression. Ha ha ha, this destructive power, I like it. Captain, Fujitora, thank you. Looking at the rising blue gas from his right palm, Ryokugyu obviously likes this poisonous fruit very much, and he can't wait to find someone to fight at this moment. The purpose is achieved, it is not suitable to stay here for a long time. Withdraw. Baizi looked at Magellan, the strongest man in Impel Down, on the spot, with a curved line at the corner of his mouth. Marine was afraid that he would have another headache. Gathered the prisoners on the 4th floor, and then came to the 3rd floor, the 2nd floor, the 1st floor. Robbing 3 of Marine's battleships, Baizi and his party left the Impel Down in a mighty manner with more than 10,000 people. Many prisoners of the 3 battleships looked at the beautiful scenery outside, all of them excited. We came out and finally got rid of that damn place. Unbelievable, like a dream, someone could kill Impel Down. Kay, what do you know? I heard that the red-haired 14th cadre is an absolute ruthless man. It is said that when they came, Drought Jack, one of the 3 plagues of Kaido of the beasts, was killed. Drought Jack, what is that? I saw with my own eyes that the blind man, the deputy captain next to Baizi, killed Prison Magellan of the poisonous fruit. And now Warden Magellan's poisonous fruit has been eaten by another deputy captain, and he punched through the 4th and 5th floors. More than 10,000 prisoners have been discussing heatedly, and the eyes of the 3 people looking at the Baizi pirate ship have changed. Ruthless. What a ruthless man. They got to know each other today. Kuro Star and others on the Baizi ship, hearing the heated discussions of the prisoners on the 3 marine battleships, they were all stunned and dumbfounded. Their vice-captain Fujitora killed Magellan, the most powerful warden in Impel Down, and the poisonous fruit was eaten by their vice-captain Ryokugyu. Oh my god. Originally, their deputy captain Ryokugyu was too powerful. Now, if the poisonous fruit is added, then its strength. They are completely unimaginable. Who I am, where am I? They are not dreaming. They thought they had overestimated the deputy captain, but now it seems that their previous thinking was too narrow. They really took down what Marine claims to be the strongest prison, Impel Down. Excited, scared, trembling. All kinds of emotions suddenly emerged from the bottom of everyone's heart, stirring in the whole heart. Everyone felt an unprecedented sense of pride, and even a sense of belonging. On the other side, dozens of warships remained around Impel Down. What? Warden Magellan was killed. External Marine heard that Magellan was killed, his eyes were round, and the person in charge, who was originally annoyed by the 3 battleships being snatched by many prisoners, immediately poured on his head like a basin of cold water, making his whole body covered. A thrill. How can it be? Yes. How is this possible? Magellan is their undefeated god of war. Anyone who dares to provoke them to impel down will be killed on the spot. Now, how could this happen? While the person in charge was horrified, Kaido of the Beast's Wano-kuni headquarters. A tall and burly man with black hair and a shawl, with a pair of ferocious long horns, a long beard like a dragon beard on his mouth, and a man with a dragon scale tattoo on his right arm, he slapped the table with a slap. What did you say? Jack is dead. This burly man like a giant is none other than one of the 4 emperors of the New World, Kaido of the Beasts, a character who is enough to suppress the times. Yes, Captain. The subordinate who came to report was full of shudders, his calf was cramping and trembling, and beads of sweat the size of beans fell from his forehead. Fear, panic. It's the red-haired. Bai Zi, the 14th cadre of the red-haired pirates. He killed Mr. Drought Jack, that day. This subordinate immediately began to tell that Jack was killed by Fujitora Isho, trembling as he walked on thin ice. Process of dropping. With the report of his subordinates, the giant-like Kaido of the Beast's complexion became more and more hideous and soul-stirring. After a long time, Kaido of the Beast suffocated the sky and broke through the sky, filled with suppressed murderous aura. Red-haired Shanks, good. Very good. Very good. Chapter 25_Desert 3 stars, Smoothie Strikes. New World, Marineford. Marine Headquarters, Fleet Admiral Sengoku Office. Jingle Bell .. Sengoku the Buddha, who was working hard, heard the voice of the phone bug beside him, and answered the phone bug as usual, feeling a little irritable, all because that Akainu almost broke his layout, but fortunately he got the phone call this morning. Akainu on the board was fully healed. This is undoubtedly the only good news for him these days. After all, tomorrow's execution of Ace is without Akainu, and their odds of catching the pirates in one fell swoop will be much lower. Although Akainu sometimes disobeys orders, his combat power cannot be ignored. After all, there is one less admiral in the 3, and the impact on the layout is not small. Hey, I'm Sengoku, what's the matter? Sengoku was very busy, so he let the other party enter the subject without much nonsense. Not good, Sengoku-sama. Impel down. Impel down is over. Bai Zi, the 14th cadre of the red-haired pirates, led marine traders Fujitora Isho and Ryokugyu to sleep in Impel down, and more than 10,000 prisoners escaped, including the 6 underground floors of Jinbei in the strait. The pirates of Infinite Hell have all escaped. Sengoku, who heard the words of the person in charge of marine outside Impel down, dropped the signature pen in his hand with a patta, lay down on the desk, and stood up from his seat with a thud, his eyes widened. What? Sengoku was completely restless. At this juncture, an accident happened at Impel down, and more than 10,000 prisoners escaped, including Jinbei and others on the 6th underground floor. This is broken. Sengoku is not a fool, he immediately thought of the public execution of Ace tomorrow, damn it. Asshole. War. Sengoku-sama, it's more than that. Sengoku, whose lungs were about to explode, heard the words of the person in charge of marine outside Impel down on the opposite side. His blood pressure rose one after another, and he even had the urge to vomit blood. Say. Yes. Lord Sengoku, Impel down prisoner Magellan was shot and killed in the 4th underground scorching hell by Bai Zi's deputy captain, my marine trader Fujitora Isho, and what? Sengoku clenched his fists and his eyes were red. Magellan was killed by Fujitora Isho, which was undoubtedly a great blow to him. And, the poisonous fruit of the prison director Magellan is missing, and it is likely to be in the hands of Bai Zi, the leader of the red-haired pirates. Boom .. As soon as the person in charge of Impel down Marine finished speaking, the sound of a phone worm being smashed came from the opposite side, and the call was lost the next moment. Sengoku Fleet Admiral, raging in anger, has already appeared in my mind. As the person in charge thought. Sengoku the Buddha office. Sengoku, who smashed the phone bug to the ground suddenly, his face was gloomy ashen, and the bad news one after another made his mind buzz. At this time, Sengoku only got one piece of news, that the Impel Down was finished, and it was completely is over. Their marine was slapped fiercely by Baizi from the Red Hair Pirates. Yes, it was just a slap, it was sour. Sengoku felt a burning pain on his face. However, before Sengoku calmed down a bit, another phone bug called, and this phone bug was no longer the one that was smashed by Sengoku. Hey, Sengoku-sama, something has happened. Not far from the sea to Impel Down, Drought Jack was killed by the red-haired pirates by Z. One of the 3 disasters of Kaido of the Beasts, Drought Jack died. Boom tilde 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 tilde. The explosive news that was like a thunderstorm came into Sengoku's ears, and Sengoku was stupid on the spot. Crazy. Is this redhead crazy? Baizi, the 14th cadre of the red-haired pirates, not only overthrew Impel Down and completely offended their marine, but also killed one of the 3 disasters of Kaido of the Beasts, one of the 3 confidants of the 4 emperors, at sea. Jack. The one-hand marine, on the other hand Kaido of the Beasts, is this redhead too impatient to live? ... Impel Down, not far from the sea. Originally, where Kaido of the Beasts' confidant Jack fell due to drought, a group of skeleton pirates with lipstick on their temperament waving up in the wind. On it was a tall, thin man wearing a hat, a scarf, white hair, a pair of gloves, a long sword with a spiral scabbard on his back, and a pair of black boots on his feet. Ah tilde tilde. I was wrong, Lord Smoothie, let me go tilde. At this moment, the Big Mom pirate group, on Smoothie's pirate ship, a subordinate who was drained of water from his body because he looked at Smoothie too much, his skin wrinkled and dried quickly, and the surrounding pirates were all pale and appeared all fear. At this moment, Smoothie, the captain of this ship, the 14th daughter of Charlotte Linlin, one of the 4 emperors, is also the juice minister of one of the dessert 3 stars of the Big Mom pirate group. It is also a devil fruit user, whose ability is to squeeze liquid from any object. The ability is very cruel, fierce. This is also the reason why the people around are so afraid. After all, the scene in front of me has happened many times. It can be said that in their eyes, Smoothie is a humanoid demon, the devil of hell. However, in the face of the wailing and begging for mercy from his subordinates, Smoothie's face obviously did not fluctuate at all. As a pirate with a bounty of 932 million, many bounty hunters have targeted her before. As a result, without exception, they were all squeezed into human dryness by him, thrown into the sea and fed to the sea kings. It can be said that Smoothie is one of the few descendants of Charlotte Linlin who is extremely trusted and proud, otherwise it would not have been given the title of Dessert 3 Stars. No, there is another person who has become a human being, and his eyes are bulging out and staring round, obviously dead. Soon 2 subordinates came, carrying the disgusting person to do it, and threw it into the sea. The next moment, it became a delicious meal in the mouth of the sea kings in this sea area. Charlotte's Smoothie, the corners of her mouth curved into a radian. She didn't take the scene just now to heart at all. In her opinion, it was all right. Her beautiful eyes looked into the distance, glanced at this beautiful sea area, and muttered to herself, "It's a pity Drought Jack from Kaido of the Beasts died in this sea." Quote. The Baizi of the red-haired pirates is quite interesting. If you squeeze him into juice, it must be very delicious. Charlotte's Smoothie's mouth curved with an evil arc between the murmurs, as if she had squeezed Baizi into juice. A scene had already appeared in front of her. The more I thought about it, the more excited I became, and then Smoothie's eyes swept to the Impel Down direction again. I just heard that Baizi went to the Impel Down. I wonder if I can meet you. Sir. Lord Smoothie, look, there's a ship coming in the distance. That's the red-haired, red-haired pirate's banner, could it be? Is that the white Z who went to impel down and came out? Tilda. When Smoothie heard it, she came to the edge of the pirate ship in a flash, and observation hockey opened up to cover the entire sea area, and immediately discovered the existence of Z. A pair of eyes suddenly flashed an abnormal look. It was like ahead the poisonous snake saw the eyes of the fat prey. Chapter 26 Ryokugyu, whose strength is soaring in terror. On the surface of the sea, not only Z's ships, but also following Z were 3 giant marine warships with more than 10,000 prisoners. Looking around, it's spectacular. At first glance, it was more like the red-haired Z ship being pursued by 3 warships. Just that under the Smoothie observation hockey, he knows the relationship well, and the red-haired 14th cadre with more than 10,000 prisoners has succeeded. When Smoothie saw Z and his party, Z and others also discovered Smoothie and others, especially the flag of the Big Mom pirate ship on the Smoothie pirate ship, fluttering in the wind, and whenever any pirates saw it, they would retreat. Don't dare to meet its edge. Big Mom pirate ship, that's 4 Emperors Charlotte Linlin's ship Tilda. Behind the 3 Marines, a prisoner in prison uniform screamed loudly. Kuro next to Z heard that, and his eyes fell on the girl leaning on the rocking chair on the pirate ship opposite. And when I saw the girl's face, my scalp immediately went numb. Smoothie. Charlotte Linlin's 14th daughter, Minister of Dessert 3 stars and juice, with a bounty of 932 million Baileys. Star of Kuro's howl with wide-eyed eyes immediately pierced the air and filled the ears of everyone in the field. 932 million Bailey. This bounty alone will make everyone in the back change color Tilda. Charlotte Linlin, the 14th daughter of the 4 emperors, is also the Minister of Juice of the 3 generals, which is no different from the cannonballs that landed in everyone's mind, affecting everyone's eyeballs. How did Big Mom Pirate's henchman appear here? But coincidentally, Charlotte Smoothie is the 14th daughter, and Z is the 14th cadre of the red-haired pirates. I don't know if this number is coincidence or destined. Tilda. Tilda. After the continuous screams, the 3 marine warships swayed, and then, one after another, the mummified corpses that were bombed and dried fell from the warships and plunged into the water. It is roughly estimated that there are dozens of them, and those people are all people who have different ideas about Smoothie. Under Smoothie's observation hockey, the eyes of these people were completely exposed to her, and as a result, they died tragically by being drained of water from their bodies. Seeing this, more than 10,000 prisoners turned pale. They had only heard that Charlotte Linlin, the 14th daughter of the Big Mom pirate group, had the ability to squeeze juice. Not at all that they can deal with. In an instant, no one dared to be unscrupulous anymore, and their eyes fluttered away quickly, for fear of being missed by Smoothie. Joke. The lesson from the previous lesson is just in front of them. How dare they make the same mistake? Z, the 14th cadre of the red-haired pirates, it sounds like fate. I'm the 14th daughter of my mother, hee Tilda. Looking at the appearance of your skin and tender meat, the juice you squeeze out must be very delicious. Smoothie, who was fiddling with her hair, raised her eyes to look at Z on the opposite side. Her eyes were full of anticipation and longing, as if Z was already her Smoothie's meal. Dessert 3 stars, I didn't expect such a disgusting character. Ignoring Smoothie's words, Z turned to the star of Kuro beside him. Although that woman is abominable, she has good abilities. It would be a pity not to use such a good devil fruit for yourself. White, Captain you. When Kuro's star heard Z's words, his heart tightened. He was about to call Z, but thinking of the gap between the two, he hurriedly changed his words. But this is not what shocked him the most. What shocked him the most was what Z said just now. Could it be? Can't help staring in Kuro's mind, the scene in Impel Down, where Z and the 3 of them snatch the prisoner Magellan's poisonous fruit, is it? Z wants to sing new songs. And the meaning of the sentence just now is the devil fruit going to be given to myself this time? My God, that the ability of the 3 dessert generals, Smoothie, this. Hey, that bitch looks very strong. Fujitora solved one of the 3 disasters, Drought Jack, then leave this woman to me. I also really want to try the ability of the poisonous fruit. At the same time that the star of Kuro was shocked, Ryokugyu had already used Marine Rokushiki shaving skillfully, and appeared on the deck where Smoothie was in the next moment. Without any fancy moves, the blue liquid immediately covered the entire fist, and he was fierce and domineering. Smoothie slams away. And that's not all, as Ryokugyu punched out, in an instant, Smoothie's entire ship was covered in blue mist, and it was the poisonous mist of Magellan, the warden of Impel Down. Just that Ryokugyu is already in control of this place. A thick poisonous mist filled the entire ship, and in the next instant, screams rang out one after another between the heavens and the earth. The 3 prisoners on the marine battleship saw the screams in the field, the corners of their mouths twitched, and their eyelids twitched. Stop. Didn't take the poisonous fruit before, that Ryokugyu had already made them doubt their life, and now Ryokugyu's strength even made them tremble. Terrible. Such strength is really too terrifying. The super explosive power, coupled with the pervasive poison, the combination of the two, who dares to meet its edge? 1 second. 5 seconds. 10 seconds. The morning continued, and there was a fierce battle in the poisonous mist. Obviously, the 2 sides in the battle were Ryokugyu and one of the 3 dessert generals, Smoothie. A bounty of 932 million Bailey existed. It lasted for more than a minute, and finally the poisonous mist dissipated. More than 10,000 gazes all converged on Smoothie's modeled ship, which was already eroded by the poisonous mist, and when they saw the situation on the ship, everyone's pupils shrank. Because apart from Ryokugyu on the deck and Smoothie who was constantly squeezing venom from his body, there was no third gasp to be found on the ship. Obviously, except for the 2 of them, all the people who were poisoned by the poison gas released by Ryokugyu could no longer die. Not only that, but even the many sea kings around the ship had huge white bellies. Dead corpse. Asshole. This guy actually ate the poisonous fruit of Magellan, the warden of Impel Down, damn it. Judging from the previous competition, this guy doesn't need the poisonous fruit to say whether he is his opponent or not. Now that this guy has the poisonous fruit, she has no chance of winning. You dare to kill me, my mother won't let you go ... Yes. Charlotte Smoothie, who has a bounty of 932 million Bailey, is afraid. Totally scared. Because of the excessive use of devil fruits, the whole person has long since collapsed. If she hadn't insisted on her will, she would have become a corpse at this time. Hey, the captain said to use your devil fruit. I won't go against the captain's words ... Ryokugyu ignored Smoothie's threat, Hey Isho, shaving Marine Rokushiki on the soles of his feet, and immediately like a teleportation in space, a big fist full of blue venom slammed into Smoothie's head. Chapter 27 _ Captain Grace, Kuro's star will never forget. Above the sea, the world is dead silent. It seemed as if the moment had been fixed at this moment, and more than 10,000 eyes were staring at the fist that Ryokugyu smashed into Charlotte Smoothie's head. Boom. Without any hesitation, Ryokugyu punched his head with a punch, and the bright red blood flowed out, and Smoothie's head instantly exploded into meat sauce, and then was corroded by venom and turned into fly ash again. A headless corpse fell softly to the ground, and the blood gushed out from the neck like a stream, like a spring, steaming hot. The bounty is as high as 932 million Bailey. Charlotte Linlin's 14th daughter Smoothie is dead. So far. Smoothie the entire pirate ship, except for Ryokugyu, no creature survives. Sigh ... Oh my god, this. Strong. It's too strong. Yeah, Neong Exipes, that's Smoothie, one of the 3 dessert generals, and she was killed like that. 932 million Bailey, my head is gone, what a pity. I feel that something big is going to happen in the new world next, and the redhead can't even save this guy named Baizi. That's right, the reality killed Jack Drought, the confidant of Kaido of the Beasts, also killed Magellan, warden of Impel Down, slapped Marine in the face, and now openly killed Smoothie, the 3 desert generals of the 4 emperors Charlotte Linlin. The guy has offended Marine and the 2 4 emperors at the same time. Quote. 3 Marine battleships, staring at the figure of the man on the pirate ship, what kind of courage is this to do? Could it be? Is this guy going to become the 5th emperor after the red-haired Shanks? I am obedient, cruel. It's so cruel. There were some prisoners who had a fluke mentality. When they saw Ryokugyu's brutal methods, they put away their fluke thoughts one by one. It seems that they can only recover their freedom after the Marineford incident. Hey, Tilda. Captain, this is that bitch's devil fruit. Ryokugyu turned back, and in the envious gaze of everyone, his eyes fixed on the devil fruit in Ryokugyu's hand without blinking. Nice job, Ryokugyu. Good ability, just give Kuro star. Baizi nodded and smiled, looking at Kuro star beside him. Ryokugyu heard Baizi's words, but the devil fruit was thrown like a trash to him. Kuro star, who had a good impression, take it, you are blessed, this ability is very powerful. He was stunned and subconsciously holding the devil fruit in his hands, stunned for a little. Plop tilde. A dull voice immediately thought in front of Baizi, when he saw the star of Kuro kneeling in front of Baizi with grateful eyes. Thank you, Captain, star of Kuro will never be forgotten. After he finished speaking, his head hit the ground with a thud. Get up. Lifted up the star of Kuro, who was kneeling on the ground, treasure this fruit and don't bury it. Yes, Captain. Kuro star carefully collected Smoothie's devil fruit, ready to consume it later. This is an opportunity to completely change his destiny. It was also from this moment that Kuro star decided in his heart that there was only one captain in this life, and that was Baizi. Even if Baizi and the red-haired pirate ship fought in the future, he would stand by Baizi without hesitation. Because, compared to what the red-hair pirates gave him, Baizi's kindness to him is really too great. In this scene, looking at the eyes of many pirates around, all of them are full of envy and jealousy, and at the same time, their hearts are full of energy. You must know that the new world is very big, and they must perform well. Unfortunately, in the future, the captain will take a fancy to them and give them a devil fruit, then they will be able to soar into the sky like the Kuro star. As for the more than 10,000 prisoners on the 3 warships, including Jinbei and Crocodile, all of them looked at Baizi in amazement. This guy actually gave a bounty of 932 million Bailey Smoothie's devil fruit, so easily given to a crew member. Whether it's worth it or not, with this courage alone, they ask themselves that they can't do it. Among the more than 10,000 prisoners, there are many people looking at such a generous Baizi, and they have the urge to join them, but when they think of the enemy that Baizi has provoked, their hair rises, and even if they kill the signs in their hearts in the cradle. Middle. ... Whitebeard Pirates, Moby Dick. Vista, captain of the 5th Division, flipped through the new newspaper as usual. Psi tilde. Kaido of the Beasts, confidant Drought Jack was killed by Baizi, and, more than 10,000 prisoners in Impel Down were released, and even Jinbei Crocodile many big pirates were released. What, this is, OMG, how is that possible? The warden of Impel Down sold. Magellan was actually killed by that Fujitora Isho, and now the poisonous fruit has fallen on Ryokugyu. Seeing the latest news reported in the newspaper, Foil Vista opened his mouth wide, his eyes filled with disbelief and horror. Real or fake? How did that guy do it? It was Impel Down, and the prison warden Amy, who was more powerful than Admiral, was guarding this round. Baizi and his party, they turned Impel Down upside down and completely offended Marine, just like this. They owe Baizetian a big favor tilde. And, that's not all, this guy is afraid that he killed Drought Jack on the way to Impel Down, which means that in addition to offending Marine, Baizi also completely angered Kaido of the Beasts. I'm obedient, this guy never thinks about the consequences of doing things tilde. Hey, Vista tilde. What are you doing? Looking at your surprised look, you have seen some good news. Yeah, let's take a look too. This room, Marco Josu of the Whitebeard Pirates and many other squad leaders also gathered around, and their eyes fell on the newspaper that shocked Foil Vista. And when they saw the headlines in the newspaper, everyone couldn't laugh anymore. They all showed a look very similar to Foil Vista. A little later. This is, Baizi and the others actually killed Jack Drought, one of the 3 plagues of Kaido of the beasts. My god, that Baizi is so powerful. What's more, Impel Down was overthrown, more than 10,000 prisoners escaped, and Baizi succeeded. This Fujitora Isho is quite powerful, and Magellan, the warden with poisonous fruits, is no match for him. Josu and the others were shocked, and even Marco's eyes were shining brightly. It can be said that the combat power of Baizi and his party greatly exceeded his expectations. Gu la 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 la. Little friend Baizi, good boy. Warden Magellan was killed. Although he offended Marine, he was happy. So happy. Did you kill Drought Jack? Hee, what a troublemaker. If you offend, you will offend. Since he is the benefactor of my Whitebeard pirates, then little friend Baizi is my friend of Whitebeard. Let the news go out. Everyone who targets Baizi in the future will be my Whitebeard's enemies. When Whitebeard saw the newspaper, he was in a good mood, so the success rate of rescuing Ace tomorrow would be at least 80%. Chapter 28_4 Emperor's Reaction. In less than half a moment, the whole new world was boiling. The source of the incident was not that Baizigan overturned Impel Down, the strongest prison in Marine, nor that Fujitora Isho killed Magellan, the warden of Impel Down, nor that Baizi and his party killed Jack, the confidant of Kaido of the beasts. Rather, Whitebeard publicly stated that anyone who was an enemy of Baizi is the enemy of the Whitebeard pirates. If this game is extremely overbearing, it will undoubtedly explode like a cannonball in the pirates' circles. Who is Whitebeard? That is called the strongest man in the world, and the one closest to One Piece, king of pirates. The shaking fruit in one hand is enough to destroy the sky and destroy the earth, making countless Marines terrified. It is such an existence, and now it has publicly stated that he shelters the 14th cadre of the red-haired pirates, who are also the 4 emperors. This news is tantamount to thunder on the ground. The name of a man, the shadow of a tree. In the land of the New World, no one does not know Whitebeard. However, just as soon as Whitebeard's statement appeared, another piece of news about Baizi came out. This news was nothing but the news that another 4 emperors, Charlotte Linlin's dessert trio, Smoothie, was killed by Baizi. Famous New World. With the news of Smoothie's killing, followed by Whitebeard's statement, all forces in the New World exploded. Whitebeard pirates who announced the news, all of them twitched at the corners of their mouths, their eyelids twitched wildly, and they couldn't stop at all. Charlotte Smoothie. The absolute confidant of the Big Mom Highs group, Charlotte Linlin's 14th daughter, who had a bounty of 932 million Bailey, was killed by Baizi, a cadre of the Red Hair Pirates. Was the Marine headquarters. Sengoku the Buddha was also shocked when he heard the news, thinking that Jack, the drought that gave them a headache, is now the Minister of Juice. Charlotte Linlin, 2 pirates with a bounty of 1 billion, who are now being solved by the same person. And this person is none other than the guy who slapped their Marine Impel Down and slapped their Marine in the face. But, he killed 2 consecutive 1 billion bounty Jack and Charlotte Smoothie, no doubt like an invisible slap hit him Sengoku hard in the face. After all, that should be what their Marine has to do, and now it was completed by the red-haired 14th cadre. This is not a slap in the face or what? At the same time, Totland Kingdom, Cake Island. On the main ship Anthem, Charlotte Linlin, with her spherical body, frantically eats her beloved cake. Her eyes are full of anger. Baizi. How dare you kill my lovely Smoothie daughter, I want you die. And Whitebeard, if you want to protect Baizi, let me see how you can protect it. Rescue Ace, wishful thinking. Charlotte Linlin, one of the 4 emperors, was completely furious at the moment. The red-haired move was undoubtedly the same as when she killed the Warden Magellan when she overturned Marine's impel down. It was Kai Gugwo's slap in the face. Mama, that redhead wants to lie with Whitebeard, not only killed Smoothie, but also killed Jack Drought, Kaido of the Beasts, confidant. At this time, Kaido of the Beasts is probably even more angry than us, why not? A muscular man with a lean body, exposing his teeth that could reach the back of his ears, said sullenly. This person is not to be let go, it is Charlotte Cracker, the 10th son of Charlotte Linlin. Like Smoothie, he is also one of the 3 desert generals under the Big Mom Pirates. Little later, after listening to the 10th son Cracker's plan, Charlotte Linlin's eyes were red. Very good, Cracker, this task will be handed over to you. Be sure to find Kaido of the Beasts in person, and tell me Charlotte Linlin has something important to do with the Marineford incident tomorrow. Business. Is it by Z, a arrogant ant? Even red hair and Whitebeard can't protect you tomorrow. As for Ace, if you add the Marine headquarters and Shichibukai that executed Ace, he. Looking in the direction of Cracker's departure, the 4 emperors Charlotte Linlin called another dessert. The 3 generals, Katakuri, take my order to execute Ace tomorrow and I support Charlotte Linlin. Yes, Mama. Charlotte Katakuri responded, turned and left Charlotte Linlin's room, and went to see like Cracker, but the direction was not to Kaido of the Beasts headquarters, but to Marineford in Marine headquarters. The Redhead Pirates, the Redford. There was a newspaper in front of the Deputy Captain Ben Beckman, and many cadres on the ship, including Red Hair, were all gathered around. Boy by Z, I didn't expect to cause such a big mess when I went to the Whitebeard pirate ship. Ben Beckman said with a frown. Obviously the information in the newspaper surprised him. Yeah, it's hard to imagine that Bai Z's strength is already so powerful. That's not it, but that kid is really brave. Drought Jack and Sweetie Star Smoothie, these 2 are the absolute confidants of Kaido of the Beasts and Charlotte Linlin. Tomorrow there will be a tough battle about Ace's rescue plan. A cadre pursed his lips. It seemed that Bai Z didn't use all his strength when he was discussing with them. Ben Beckman glanced at the red hair smoking a cigarette, and looked at Marineford in the direction of Marine's headquarters. Don't forget, that kid did not know how to get Marine's Fujitora Isho and Ryokugyu 2 rear admirals under his command. Judging from the battle strength of the 2 in front of me, the strength of these 2 is very terrifying, and their strength is absolutely comparable to the 3 admiral of the Marine headquarters. While speaking, Ben Beckman looked at the red-haired Shanks with some worry. Captain, I have an intuition that Bai Z's ambitions are very big, and I'm afraid that in the future, it is likely to leave us red-haired pirates. Tuan, after all, whether Fujitora Isho or Ryokugyu. Get away, that kid's growth rate is really terrifying. The red-haired took a deep puff of cigarettes, and breathed out a cloud of smoke, lingering in the air, and suddenly facing Ben Beckman. Genial Isho, if that kid can become the 5th emperor of the New World, our red-haired pirates can also be exposed. Quote. Ben Beckman saw the red-haired Shanks smile. Vivi froze for a while, and then he became somewhat clear. It's still the captain's long-term thinking, although there is not much contact, but the character of the white boy is still good, if he can really achieve the first in the future. 5 emperors, our red hair pirates will also have another good ally. Listening to the conversation between the 2 captains, Usopp and the 13 officers' eyelids jumped wildly. Quietly, they were a little dazed. Originally, tomorrow was the day to execute Fire Fist Ace, but why did they feel that tomorrow's protagonist is not Ace, but more like their 14th cadre Bai Z? Although, they were very clear in their hearts that with Bai Z's strength, they probably wouldn't have many days as a cadre of their pirate group. This is also understandable when a person's strength reaches the peak, which is comparable to the strength of the 4 emperors. Even if he is not called an emperor, the general trend of the New World will force him to become an emperor. Chapter 29_Chaton Tokikake Vice Admiral. After half a day. Marine headquarters, 100 kilometers from Marineford to the sea. Bring up the properties panel. Name, Bai Z. Age, 19. Abilities, /LV10, Conqueror Hockey LV8, Armament Hockey LV7, Observation Hockey LV6, Marine Rokushiki LV9. Devil Fruit, Shock Fruit LV8, Gravity Fruit LV7. Item, Restoration Potion X10. Looking at the attribute panel in front of him, the corners of Baizi's mouth curved into a radian. It was also after a period of training with the battle madman Ryokugyu that he directly dried the slash to the full level of 10. It can be said that at this time, Baizi was only pulling his sword fast. I'm afraid that even the first big swordsman's eagle eyes are not enough to see. It is particularly worth mentioning that the recovery potion that burst out of the going treasure chest filled Baizi with anticipation. Just before the Kuro star who got the smoothie juice fruit, in order to become stronger in the shortest time, he was constantly facing, dead and alive. Battle madman Ryokugyu asks for advice. As a result, there is no doubt that he was tortured and beaten again and again, and every time he was swollen like a pig's head, especially when Baizi gave Kuro star a recovery potion. With one punch from Ryokugyu, the exhausted Kuro star was only half-life left. If Kuro star hadn't passed out far beyond the load limit, the two would still have to fight. He just gave him a bottle of recovery potion. Of course, the most important thing was that he wanted to see what the recovery potion did. Just less than a minute after drinking the recovery potion, the unconscious Kuro star jumped up from the ground, and Ryokugyu was startled when he saw such a scene. Immediately afterwards, in Shirazawa's observation and Ryokugyu's consternation, Kuro star stood directly with Ryokugyu as if he had been beaten. Under Baizi's orders, Ryokugyu gradually strengthened his strength against Kuro star. Later, Ryokugyu was surprised to find that even if he used half of his strength, he could not knock down Kuro Shing again. After each attack, the scars on Kuro star will dissipate invisible at a speed visible to the naked eye. Of course, very few people know about this. In addition to Baizi, Ryokugyu and Kuro star knew about it, and Baizi strictly ordered them not to tell anyone about this, even Fujitora. Not that he doesn't believe in Fujitora, but that as few people as possible know about this, the better. It's not that I'm afraid that someone will care about it, but I'm tired of dealing with it. It is more than 10 kilometers away from the group. Hey, Revolutionary Army Cadre Koala, come to Marine headquarters to spy on information, you are dead. A Marine Vice Admiral wearing a straw hat, a justice cloak, and slippers followed closely, and observation hockey all open. Lock Koala who is moving fast in the sea, the corners of his mouth are full of jokes. Damn, I actually ran into Chaton Tokikake, Marine Admiral candidate, I'm definitely not a match. Koala's expression darkened. If she wasn't from the Fishman clan, and she was extremely fast in the sea, she would have already died in the hands of Chaton Tokikake, the Marine Admiral substitute. Chaton Tokikake, Vice Admiral of Marine Headquarters, Marine Admiral candidate, if Fujitora Isho and Ryokugyu did not appear, I am afraid that he and Momoshige are the most likely existences to become Marine Admiral. As for the person he was chasing, it was none other than Koala, the cadre of the Revolutionary Army Monkey D. Long, a girl who Sabo said was that there was nothing in the world that she could not handle. When she was very young, Koala was captured by Tenryubito and made a slave. Like Empress Boa Hancock, she was a slave girl rescued by Fisher Tiger, captain of the Sun Pirates, and she also had the imprint of a slave on her body like Empress Boa Hancock. That was the shame of her life. At the age of 13, she joined the Revolutionary Army for the peaceful coexistence of the mermaid and human beings. At this time, her immediate boss was none other than Luffy's father, the leader of the Revolutionary Army, Monkey D. Long. Her mission this time is to personally obtain information about Ace's public execution tomorrow, which Sabo, who is Ace's brother, does not know. Because, whether it is Dragon or Koala's temper towards Sabo is too clear. If Sabo knew that Ace was publicly executed in Marineford, I am afraid that he would definitely rush to Marineford like Luffy. As for why Long ignores Luffy, it is because the way is different and the way is different. More importantly, he is very clear that he can't control it, just like his father Garp couldn't control him to embark on the road of the Revolutionary Army. Hey, Koala die! Chaton Tokikake locked on Koala, who had entered the attack range, and immediately punched out. A hole appeared in the sea in front of him, and attacked Koala in the sea at a very fast speed. The sea was swept around, setting off nearly 10 meters of waves. Koala, who had been exhausted for a long time, felt the extreme danger rushing towards her when she reacted, and it was about to approach her. If she was hit by this punch, she would definitely not be able to escape. Bastard, I can only come here. Koala clenched tightly in his slender hands, and Armament Hockey, the only remaining arm, gathered his palms, and the mermaid karate attack in front of him was about to smash. Bang tilde, sounded. Just as Koala was about to shoot, a shot in the water suddenly struck, and the attack from Chaton Tokikake disappeared in the next instant. Saved. Koala, who was not hit, looked happy, and then he looked at the pirate group not far away and the 3 battleships behind him. When he saw the flag on the pirate ship, and the figure standing on the deck. With joy in his eyes, Bai Zi, the 14th cadre of the red-haired pirates, and his subordinates. Of course she wouldn't be like the general leader of the red-hair pirates, because those people were completely incapable of saving themselves from Chaton Tokikake, but this Bai Zi was different. You know, this guy is the one who overturned Impel down so forcefully that even Magellan was folded in his hands. Maz, who dares to interfere with Marine's work, Lao Su. Before Chaton Tokikake could finish speaking, Shirazawa's sharp slash attached to Armament Hockey came to Chaton Tokikake. The endless danger struck. Chaton Tokikake bit his gums and abruptly turned his body away, but his arm was not so lucky. He originally punched Koala's right fist, but this slash directly cut off his right fist. Arm. The blood sprayed on the sea surface was very eye-catching. The next moment, Bai Zi's slash slashed through the void again, and slashed towards the marine battleship that followed Chaton Tokikake. Boom tilde tilde tilde. In the next instant, even the boat and the sea surface were directly smashed out by a wave of dozens of meters, and the endless energy rushed into the air. At this moment, Chaton Tokikake, who lost his right arm, saw Bai Zi's figure. His pupils shrank suddenly, he turned around and fled, and quickly disappeared into the sea in a blink of an eye. Koala is going to be on the verge of not knowing how much, under the threat of death, Chaton Tokikake has obviously stimulated the endless potential in his body. As for the many Marines on the battleship where Chaton Tokikake is, all of them have become delicious meals in the mouth of the Sea Kings in the sea, and a few, the screams of wailing everywhere are rippling. Chapter 30 Strength above Marine Admiral. On the White Sea pirate ship, Koala was rescued to the deck by her subordinates. She tilted her head with the last ounce of strength before, and before she could say thank you, she tilted her head and fainted. Bai Zi took her into the room, drank a bottle of recovery potion in his hand. Soon. Tilde. With a sound, the unconscious Koala woke up, and all the wounds from the previous battle were fully recovered. She knew that the man in front of her had saved her. Just when Koala was about to express her gratitude, she suddenly put Tenryubido's back on her back. The branding disappeared strangely with an itchy feeling. This. Koala felt the change in her body, her eyes flickered. Mr. Bai Zi, thank you. With the disappearance of the slave brand of more than 20 years on his body, Koala's depressed mood seemed to be instantly relieved, and not only that, even his skin became much better than before. What was the medicine just now? Although Koala was in a coma just now, the subconscious observation Hockey could probably see the scene he just experienced. That small bottle of potion had such a miraculous effect. You must know that in this world, the brand of Tenryubido can never be removed. This is something that everyone recognizes. I hope you can keep this matter a secret. Bai Zi looked at Koala with a smile. The reason was not because of her, but because of the Revolutionary Army behind her. He didn't want to offend the whole world. Bother. He had already offended Marine, and the Revolutionary Army had undoubtedly become another person he wanted to befriend. Going a step further, it would be even better if he could absorb Koala into his pirate ship. I understand, I will keep this matter a secret, and I guarantee it with the honor of the mermaid. Koala promised as if he swore, and after a few greetings, Koala threw out an olive branch. I heard that Mr. Byzie killed Magellan, who is known as the strongest warden in Impel Down, and now Mr. Byzie has a vengeance with Marine. In addition to the matter of Drought Jack and Charlotte Smoothie, Mr. Byzie has already had a grudge with Marine and the 4 emperors. Although the Whitebeard pirates and the red-haired pirates are on your side, there are still some shortcomings. I don't know. What does Mr. Byzie think of our revolutionary army? Koala said a lot, and finally stated his purpose. Byzie wanted to win her over, so why didn't she want to pull such a superpower into the revolutionary army? Kala Kadri, I don't want to ask about the battle between your revolutionary army and Marine, and I don't bother to ask. Glancing at Koala, he continued, but compared to Marine, I am more optimistic about your revolutionary army. After all, I don't like Tenryubito very much. I think I can become friends with the revolutionary army in the future. Oh, since Mr. Byzie thinks so, that's great. Hearing Byzie's words, Koala's expression was shocked. Although he failed to pull Byzie into the revolutionary army, it was a good choice to become a friend. After all, the man in front of him, according to his current strength, is probably the most powerful person in this sea area. There is a possibility of becoming the next emperor. If that happens, their revolutionary army is tantamount to having the support of an emperor in the New World. In that case, I'll talk to our leader when I go back. I hope we can cooperate happily. Koala is very talkative, which makes people very comfortable to listen to. Well, good. If you need any help in the future, you can contact Kuro Star, and I will introduce you to you later. After talking for a while, the two came out of the room. Stars of Kuro and Ryokugyu met Koala, who was alive and kicking, and their eyes met, obviously realizing something. After some introduction, Ryokugyu said in surprise, "Captain, are you an ally with the revolutionary army?" When Fujitora heard Ryokugyu's words, he nodded slightly. He knew the reputation of the revolutionary army. He had always attached great importance to the people. When he heard the news, he looked at Byzie with even more admiration. After some exchanges with Kuro Star, Koala was stunned, and looked at Byzie not far away with an unbelievable look. "Mr. Kuro Star, what did you say? You captains, Mr. Byzie gave you Charlotte Smoothie's juiced fruit." Hearing Kuro Star's words, Koala's heart was shocked. He didn't expect Mr. Byzie to be so sincere in cooperating with their revolutionary army. Although the current star of Kuro is very weak, and even she can kill her directly, but with the support of juicing fruit, in the near future, this person will definitely be Byzie's confidant. There is no doubt about this. Then, Koala's eyes fell on Byzie, and he thought of the scene where this person broke Marine Vice Admiral Chaton Tokikake's arm with one knife, and even split a warship in half, splashing dozens of meters of waves. Asked the star of Kuro, "Excuse me, but I want to ask how strong your captain, Mr. Baizawa is." I don't know about this." Star of Kuro looked at the man who impressed him, Bitter Isho, and immediately saw Fujitora and Ryokugyu, and said, "However, I know that if we really make a move, our two vice-captains, Fujitora Isho and Ryokugyu, are not our captain's opponents at all." Quote. Koala, who captured this information, has a beautiful meal. Marine, Fujitora Isho and Ryokugyu, who had been secretly used as Marine Admiral's replacement before, were not opponents, and Fujitora Isho had killed Impel Down Warden Magellan before. This Fujitora Isho should have the strength of Marine Admiral, so isn't this Byzie? Strength above Marine Admiral. Thinking of this possibility, and thinking of the scene in which Chaton Tokikake was defeated and fled in embarrassment just now, I was convinced. In this way, Byzie, the 14th cadre of the red-haired pirate ship who saved himself, doesn't he have the strength to surpass many cadres of their revolutionary army, even close to their leader Long? It is estimated that even Sabo, the second in command of their revolutionary army, is afraid that he can beat this person. It is hard to imagine what kind of friend he has brought to their revolutionary army this time. Baizi again, Koala's eyes have all changed. Chapter 31 All parties plan, Sabo is coming. Marineford, Marine Headquarters. Chaton Tokikake returned to the Marine Headquarters with blood on his right arm, which attracted a lot of attention from everyone along the way. Is that Chaton Tokikake, Vice Admiral? What happened? His right arm was cut off. What happened to him? Chaton Tokikake is the existence of the clan as a candidate for Marine Admiral. How could someone cut off his arm? Many Marines in the Marine Headquarters were hotly discussing, looking at the figure of Chaton Tokikake entering Sengoku's office. Each one's eyes flickered, their eyebrows lowered in thought, not knowing what they were thinking. A while. Fleet Admiral Sengoku office. After listening to Chaton Tokikake's report, Sengoku's mood sank to the bottom, that Baizi's strength was beyond his expectations. Chaton Tokikake, who was trained by their Marine Headquarters as Admiral, broke his arm in one strike. Only a Kainu and their Admiral can do this kind of strength. In other words, that is to say, Baizi, the 14th cadre of the red-haired pirates, is absolutely admiral in strength, and there are Marine traitors Fujitora Isho and Ryokugyu as his right-hand man. Tomorrow's execution of I'm afraid. Button tilde. Just as Sengoku was thinking about it, a crisp knock came from outside, waving Chaton Tokikake away and letting the people outside come in. Sengoku-sama, Charlotte Linlin's confidant and dessert star Katakuri wants to see you. The Marine's subordinate who came in swallowed his saliva in horror. Who is Katakuri? That's Charlotte Linlin's second son, the big pirate with a bounty of up to 1.057 billion Bailey in their Marine Headquarters, and now coming to their Marine Headquarters to meet their Sengoku Fleet Admiral. This is too daring. 1057 million. That's a higher bounty than Drought Jack, who was killed by Fujitora Isho, Kaido of the Beast's henchman. This shows how extraordinary this man is. Moreover, he is also the head of Charlotte Linlin's 3 desert generals, and he is also the most powerful existence tilde. This is also the reason why Sengoku's subordinates are shocked. It can be said that such a pirate is undoubtedly the target that their marine wants to destroy at all costs. But now, that guy. They came to their Marine Headquarters. A little. Katakuri came to Sengoku's office, and the Sengoku's confidant left the office with cold air on his feet. He didn't realize until he was outside the office that he was soaked with sweat, wiped off the sweat beads that were the size of a bean, and hurriedly fled for his life. Go. Katakuri, the big pirate with a bounty of 1.057 billion, the confidant of the 4 emperors Charlotte Linlin, you are so brave. Sengoku's wise eyes narrowed slightly, his eyes locked on Katakuri, who was sitting on a chair not far in front of him, not worried at all about his safety. Go straight to the point. Katakuri didn't pay any attention to Sengoku's twinkling eyes, and a cold voice rang out, this time I am following Mama's order to inform you that Mama has sent someone to Kaido of the Beasts, and Cracker's purpose like me. Oh, what is Charlotte Linlin's purpose for letting you come? Sengoku took a sip of his tea. Vaguely he seemed to have guessed something. After all, that Baizi was the drought who killed Kaido of the Beasts and their big mom pirates at the same time. Dessert Trio's smoothie. It's simple. Katakuri stood up from his seat, went to the window and looked at Marineford's execution platform. His eyes narrowed slightly, revealing a chilling look. Tomorrow Ace must die. Whitebeard must die too. Even Whitebeard must die. Oh tilde. Hearing Katakuri's words, Sengoku's eyes became clear. As he expected, Katakuri came to execute Ace tomorrow. HMPH, Mama knows you Marine can't do it, but Cracker has gone to Kaido of the Beasts. I believe Kaido of the Beasts will not miss such a good opportunity, and our pirate team will be there tomorrow. Katakuri retracted his eyes from the execution platform, and his sinister eyes bloomed. Tomorrow I don't care about anything else, whether Whitebeard or red hair, can't stop my determination to avenge my sister Smoothie. Is that so? Since hearing that Katakuri came to him, Sengoku has already had some guesses, and sure enough, Katakuri's purpose is as he expected, to execute Ace tomorrow, more precisely, for tomorrow's by Z. However, since Kaido of the Beasts and Charlotte Linlin want to intervene, the enemy of the enemy is a friend. If they lose both sides, their marine headquarters will destroy the 4 emperors, and the new world will be peaceful from now on. Good. You go back and tell Charlotte Linlin, I promise this matter, no one will affect Ace's execution tomorrow. As for the Whitebeard pirates and the redheads. Sengoku of the Old Fox spoke. He deliberately pulled a long tone, obviously waiting for Katakuri's reply. Humph tilde. Don't worry, Whitebeard and Redhead, leave it to us. After Katakuri finished speaking, he raised his foot and left Sengoku's office in a grand manner. No one dared to stop him along the way. Sengoku looked back, the corners of his mouth curved. Of course he knew who Katakuri was referring to by we, and unsurprisingly, we were the 4 emperors Charlotte Linlin and Kaido of the Beasts. Rescue Ace. If Ace and Bai Z all die in Marineford tomorrow, I'll see how Whitebeard will deal with it. As for the red-haired Shanks, then there will be someone to deal with. ... Island of White Earth, Baldigo. Revolutionary Army Headquarters. Known as the only organization capable of overthrowing government institutions, it is also regarded as the greatest threat by world governments. Chief Monkey D. Long, Office. Jingle Bell tilde tilde. As the phone bug rang, the leader of the Revolutionary Army, Long, who was wearing a dark green coat and had a red square tattoo on his left face, rang out a heavy and rough voice. Hello. Leader, I'm Koala. I'm on the ship of the 14th Cadre of the Red-Haired Pirates. Bai Z agreed to maintain friendly relations with us in the future, and support us to a certain extent, and just today I was taken by Chaton. Tokikake found out. Koala, who was rescued by Bai Z, who was on the phone with Luffy's father Long. At this time, she recounted what happened before. While Koala spoke, the dragon on the opposite side remained silent. 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. After several minutes, the voice of the dragon finally came from the opposite side. Koala, you did a good job. Due to the great changes in the situation, I want to change the plan. Since you have attracted that monstrous boy named Bai Z, our revolutionary army can't just sit back and ignore the execution of Ace tomorrow. Well, the leader's intention is to let me help Bai Z and rescue Sabo and Luffy's eldest brother Ace. Koala heard this, and his eyes lit up. No. The dragon in the office looked in the direction of Marineford. I've decided to let Sabo go to Marineford tomorrow. After hanging up, Koala's mouth twitched. Sabo. If that guy knew that Ace was publicly executed by Marine, I don't know what kind of crazy things he would do. Chapter 32 Revolutionary Army Leader, Dragon's Intention. Revolutionary Army, Headquarters. Leader Dragon Office. Squeak tilde. With the sound of pushing the door, a young man in his 20s, with short wavy golden hair, a scar on his left eye, and a confident smile on his face, walked in. Leader, look for me. The corners of his mouth curled into a warm arc. He looked handsome, and Vivi's curved arc gave people a feeling of gentlemanly demeanor like a spring breeze. Sabo is here, take a look at this newspaper. Long didn't say much, and put a newspaper of Marine's public execution of Ace in front of Sabo. Before, it was for the sake of the overall situation, and Sabo had been asked to perform tasks, and he had never been allowed to contact the outside world, so as not to affect the overall situation. After all, Sabo was no longer a child at this time, but the second in command of their revolutionary army. But now, the situation has changed, it's not the same. What? This. Ace will be publicly executed by Marine headquarters in Marineford tomorrow. When will it happen? Leader, you Deliberately hide from me. Sabo in this pirate world was attacked by Tenryubito, but he did not lose his memory and still remembers his sworn brothers Ace and Luffy. The last time I learned of Ace's trace was that he went to eradicate Blackbeard. As for the next time he was sent by the dragon to perform secret missions one by one, Sabo's endless dissatisfaction rubbed against him when he saw the news of Ace. Although he knew that the dragon was taking care of the overall situation, but where did he put him in this way? This matter will be discussed for another day. I'll find you today and I have a task for you. Long ignored Sabo's complaint at all. Obviously, he had expected this situation. Seeing the angry Sabo, Long couldn't help thinking of his own son who aspired to become One Piece, King of Pirates. Vivi Bitter Isho, I want you to take half of the cadres of the Revolutionary Army to Marineford to rescue Ace. Quote. Boom tilde tilde tilde. As soon as Long said this, Sabo, who was originally complaining, immediately turned into a deep consternation. Leader, you. Ace's public execution is the best chance for the Revolutionary Army to fight back against Marine. It is absolutely impossible to extract half of the cadres. I just go alone. Sabo took a deep breath, although he wanted to do so, but his reason told him that this was extremely unfavorable to their overall situation. Don't rush tilde. There's also a newspaper here, look at it. Looking at Sabo, who directly refused, Long didn't say anything, but put another newspaper about Baizi on the table. Sabo frowned slightly, and when he lowered his eyebrows, he saw a young man about the same age as him, but when he saw the name, he couldn't help but flicker with a strong surprise in his eyes. The 14th cadre of the red-haired pirates, Baizi. Immediately afterwards, with a strong curiosity, Sabo read the report about Baizi, and he didn't know if he didn't read it. After seeing this, the whole person was not calm. This Baizi killed Kaido of the Beasts, Confidant Jack Drought, and Charlotte Linlin's 3 dessert star smoothie, and he also smashed Impel down and killed Magellan, the warden's poisonous fruit owner. Fujitora Isho, Ryokugyu, I have had people check these 2 people. They are 2 extremely powerful beings. I really didn't expect this Baizi to be able to bring these 2 people under his command and serve them. Obviously, many information from Baizi gave Sabo too much shock and impact. Hehe, and it doesn't stop there. The leader of the Revolutionary Army, Long Rare Haha Isho, just now, Koala was discovered by Chaton Tokikake, who was returning to the headquarters, and he was almost caught. It was this Baizi who shot himself and dropped Koala. Tokikake shaved off an arm. Quote. Koala asked this Baizi's subordinate, and after Koala's analysis, this Baizi's strength should be higher than that of Fujitora Isho and Ryokugyu, probably because the combat power surpasses Marine Admiral's existence. You know, the previous Impel Down Warden Magellan, Drought Jack and Charlotte Smoothie were all shot by Fujitora Isho and Ryokugyu. Long's words, listening to Sabo's ears, were like bolts from the blue, surpassing the strength of Admiral's headquarters in Marine. This. Is there a new emperor in the New World? These are not the most important. The most important thing is that this Baizi has already expressed his attitude. In the future, he will maintain a friendship or alliance with our Revolutionary Army, and support our Revolutionary Army to a certain extent. In other words, the owner of Baizi, who is most likely to become the 5th emperor of the New World, will be our strong support and backing to overthrow Marine and Tenryubito in the future. So, the leader's intention is to let me go to contact this person to show my sincerity, and use the strength of half of the cadres of the Revolutionary Army to help him. Sabo is not a fool, on the contrary, he is very smart, and he quickly understands it. Dragon's intentions. It's just one of them. Oh, does the leader have other intentions? Sabo frowned when he heard Long's words. Obviously he couldn't think of any other intentions. Word of intent. Forget it, you and Ace Luffy have never gathered since the Windmill Village went to sea. This time is your 3 brothers gathering. Leader, you. Long's words made Sabo more and more confused. When did their leader become so emotional? Aware of Sabo's thoughts, the Revolutionary Army leader Long came to the window and looked in the direction of Marineford. Tell you a secret, actually Luffy is my son. Boom tilde 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 tilde. When Sabo heard the dragon's words at close range, his eyes widened and he stared at the leader's back, murmuring, Monkey D. Long, Monkey D. Luffy. This. Sabo immediately seemed to hear something unbelievable, and said in surprise, what you said is true, leader, you are Luffy's father, but doesn't that mean that Grandpa Garp is? You guessed it right, Garp Vice Admiral, Marine's hero Garp, he is my father. Long was not slow at all, a bitter smile grinned at the corners of his mouth, and he couldn't help thinking of when he stepped into the Revolutionary Army. On the road, the scene of the old man in the family was furious, and he was about to sever the father-son relationship with himself. As soon as this statement came out, Sabo was completely stunned. So, Luffy's grandfather Garp is Marine's hero Vice Admiral, his father is his immediate boss, the leader of the Revolutionary Army, and little Luffy is a man who aspires to be One Piece, king of pirates. There are 3 generations of a family, belonging to 3 camps. This is truly a family. Sabo was completely shocked at this moment. Garp, whom he admired and feared the most since he was a child, turned out to be the father of his leader, and his brother was the son of his leader. This news, the impact on Sabo is no different from too big. So, the last intention was a hint of gentleness in Long's eyes. If possible, don't let that frizzy boy from Luffy lose his life. My father, your grandfather Garp is a stubborn old man. I'm afraid that even if Luffy dies tomorrow, he will die. He won't even shoot. You know his temper very well. A stubborn old man who is loved and hated at the same time. Sabo's mind came to Garp, who beat himself up from the bottom, and he couldn't help but sum up a sentence. It seems that you know him well. The corner of Long's mouth curved a little, and then he said solemnly, my biggest intention is that this time, even if you have exhausted half of the Revolutionary Army cadres, you have to protect Baizi's safety. According to the information, when Ace is executed tomorrow, Baizi will be the focus of Marine, Kaido of the Beasts and Charlotte Linlin. Yes, leader. Guaranteed to complete the mission. Chapter 33_War on Top. The next day, early in the morning. New World, Moby Dick. In order to save Ace, who was being held by Marine, Whitebeard issued an order to directly annihilate the 23 Marine warships that were monitoring him. The Whitebeard pirates and his 43 pirates from the New World, they headed towards the Marineford Marine headquarters and the Shichibukai gathering place. It was also with the change of the Whitebeard pirates that the whole New World was shaken. Not only the Whitebeard pirates, Kaido of the Beasts, Red Hair, and Charlotte Linlin are all lined up, and Marineford, who was killed, is publicly executed. In addition, the Revolutionary Army Sabo also rushed towards Marineford with half of the cadres of the Revolutionary Army. As for the leader of the Revolutionary Army, Long, he took the other half of the cadres to conduct an indiscriminate battle against the forces in the Marine headquarters. Of pressure. To know. Here, Sengoku the Buddha's summoning order made the Marines empty and completely unmatched by the Revolutionary Army. This was their best chance to fight back. Marineford, execution scene. Sengoku stood beside Ace on the execution platform, with the plan over and over in his mind. Marine 3, Admiral Akainu, Kuzan and Kizaru, sitting on the chairs on the side of the execution platform to fight. Garp and Crane were also watching the battle from the sidelines, waiting for the opportunity to shoot. Garp's mood was extremely complicated at this moment. To know. Ace, like his grandson Luffy, both grew up with him, but now his position is different. To tell the truth, he really hopes that Whitebeard and his party can save Ace, although this is against his insistence. But he didn't want Ace to die in front of him. This was undoubtedly the cruelest thing for an old man. Marine Headquarters, Marineford. 100,000 Marine Headquarters elites gather once, in order to destroy the strongest pirate Whitebeard in the New World in one fell swoop. Execution scene, Central Bay. From the calm and waveless sea, a huge spring suddenly appeared. After a while, with Sengoku's extremely unpleasant look, a huge ship burst out with a boo sound. The next moment, the Moby Dick appeared in the bay like this. The expressions of more than 100,000 people, including Sengoku, suddenly changed. They never expected that the Whitebeard pirates would invade so close distance. Goo la la la, Sengoku, we haven't seen each other in decades. Whitebeard, who boarded the deck with a knife, was domineering and hearty isho, and all the more than 100,000 Marines around were dumbfounded, looking at the Moby Dick, which looked like a high-rise building, a face full of solemnity. They never thought it can be said that Whitebeard has already taken the lead in such a move. Immediately after the ships of the Whitebeard pirates appeared, several other ships burst out of the water, like the Moby Dick. Looking at the top players of the pirate headquarters, Whitebeard's eyes locked on Ace on the central execution platform. Ace, wait for Daddy for a while. After speaking, Whitebeard glanced at the marine headquarters behind Sengoku and the others, clenched his fists in both hands, and swayed in the air. Immediately, with Whitebeard's fists as the center, countless cracks in the space emerged, and the Junjun fruit was urged by Whitebeard at this moment. Extreme. Next moment. The earth shook and the mountains swayed, and the sea rose to the sky and the waves covered the sky, covering the sky and the sun. More than 100,000 people in Marineford were dumbfounded. This, my God, this is Whitebeard's strength. Haikwan. This is the Haikwan of Whitebeard's shake fruit. The power of one person, directly launching the sea earthquake. Is this the rhythm that will drown Marineford? As expected of the strongest of the four emperors, such combat power destroys the sky and destroys the earth. With such an existence, do we really have a chance of winning? More than 100,000 marine elites, at this moment, looking at the thousands of meters of waves covering the sky, were all shocked by the scene of destruction in front of them. Marine's invincibility belief was shaken at this moment. And yes, completely shaken. Sengoku's eyes were full of horror at the moment, and he was staring at the thousands of feet of waves on both sides of Marineford. If they were photographed, their entire Marineford would be shattered. Whitebeard single-handedly launched a tsunami, and the waves fell from the sky towards Marineford. The scorching sun was covered by the waves, and Marineford was about to be submerged by the waves. More than 100,000 marine elites are full of despair, because this is no longer a disaster that people can resist. Kuzan Admiral on the far right, Marine Rokushiki, who was sitting on the three admiral seats, instantly appeared hundreds of feet in the air. Frozen fruits are lingering all over the body, and the ability is exerted to the extreme, and the instantaneous ability acts on the thousands of feet of ocean waves that cover the sky on both sides. Ice Age. Quote. Without the slightest hesitation, Kuzan came up with the ultimate combat power, Ice Age, using all the frozen fruits, and the air conditioning all over his body instantly turned the waves that covered the sky on both sides into ice that covered the sky. Under the sunlight, the surrounding temperature instantly dropped by at least 10 degrees. Open black lens bracket partisan close black lens bracket. Quote. After the freezing tsunami, Kuzan tentatively reissued the ultimate trick partisan, carrying an unparalleled wind chill, turned into several silver beams and attacked Whitebeard, which caused the tsunami. But Whitebeard clenched his right fist slightly, and smashed it in the direction of Kuzan. In the next instant, the shock fruit shattered Kuzan's attack, and instantly cut Kuzan in half, into two pieces. The ice fell from the sky. The next moment the two pieces of ice fell into the sea, the entire bay was centered on the ice and quickly spread, and the entire bay's surface was frozen by Kuzan's frozen fruit. A while. Marineford is a frozen world. Kuzan's attack was like the fuse that triggered the war between the two sides. Many marine elites in the marine headquarters, and many cadres and members of the Whitebeard pirates, immediately started working. Meanwhile, Marineford is not far off the water. Towards Marineford were suddenly forced to stop by several attacks. There are more than a dozen pirate ships on both sides, and one side has a rice-shaped white bone background, with a hideous skull on it, and a pair of hideous horns soaring into the sky. The other is a lipstick-smeared skull flag, and the two parties are none other than Kaido of the Beasts and Charlotte Linlin, the four emperors of the New World. They had already agreed with Marine before that Marineford would give it to them, and they would deal with the red hair. Red-haired Shanks, I've been waiting here for a long time. Kaido of the Beasts with a burly body like a giant, a rough and majestic voice came from the boat. Gia, today is the end of your red hair. Maybe after today, there will be only 2 emperors instead of 4 emperors in the world. Charlotte Linlin, full of teasing. Kaido, according to the agreement, in order to ensure that there is no accident on Whitebeard's side, Katakuri, you and Cracker go to Marineford and bring me the heads of Whitebeard and the others. Charlotte Linlin is the second son next to her, and she is also the most favorite confidant. Yes, Mama. After that, Katakuri and Cracker dodged and headed towards Marineford. Jin, Queen, you all go too. Kaido of the Beasts waved his hand, and the other 2 disasters were sent out. After the 4 left, Kaido of the Beasts looked at the red-haired jokingly. Shanks, Marineford, don't have to think about it, worry about whether your red-haired pirates can survive today. What do you have to say to them? Just kill it, Gia. Instant, following Charlotte Linlin's order, many confidants and subordinates rushed forward and rushed towards the red-haired pirates. The sky is monstrous, the endless sea kings are dying frequently, the sky is dark and the sun and the moon are dark. Chapter 34 _ The battle is tragic, save Ace. Marineford, Marine Headquarters. On the top, the war situation is brewing and expanding. Marine 3 Admiral, Kizaru stood up from the seat, the corners of his mouth curled up and looked at the field where Marine was being suppressed. These captains of the Whitebeard pirates are like monsters. If you want to minimize battle losses, you have to catch the thief first and catch the king first. Kizaru, who stood up, turned into light and disappeared in place, and reappeared above Whitebeard's head. Open black lens bracket Yasukani no Magatama close black lens bracket. Quote. Kizaru, who was hanging in the air, jumped into the air, and the overwhelming dazzling light bombs rushed towards Whitebeard on the Moby Dick pirate ship. Yasukani no Magatama could get close. The first team captain Marco Phoenix appeared and took a strong blow from Kizaru to fight against Kizaru. On the other side, Jozu smashed the ice with a punch, and the giant ice block the size of a mountain was pulled out by him and threw it towards the only remaining Akainu in Marine 3 Admiral. Akainu, who was injured by the red hair before, recovered all his fighting strength, and it was even worse. Open black lens bracket Great Major Eruption close black lens bracket. Quote. Akainu in the seat looked up with a cold face and glanced at the giant iceberg that was violently impacted by the tearing air. His right fist turned into a giant lava fist, and he slammed into it. The huge iceberg met Akainu's magma fist, and was instantly evaporated. After Akainu broke the attack of Little Oz, the Great Major Eruption exploded and then turned into countless volcanic bombs, heading towards the Whitebeard pirates. All of his subordinates blasted past, and in an instant, the subordinates of the Whitebeard pirates were killed and injured countless times. The battle situation is very tragic. After the Great Major Eruption, Akainu once again attacked Whitebeard with magma meteors, which pierced the air like cannonballs. However, in the face of Akainu's hard blow, Whitebeard directly caught the magma with the knife, and smiled indifferently, blowing out the magma with a breath of "Who?" staring at Akainu with murderous eyes, with a sneer, "You can light candles at a birthday party with your strength, Magma Boy." Oz, he smashed the Marine cannon formation with one knife, but in the end Little Oz was defeated by Marine and died. Just when the 10 million hits, the Maelstrom Spider pirate scored, with a flickering gleam in his eyes, stabbed Whitebeard with a knife in the back, and saw that he wanted this kind of Whitebeard, and Akainu on the opposite side had already raised a sneer on the corner of his mouth. Arc of success. Dang bang tilde. However, just when Akainu and Squard thought they had succeeded, Foil Vista, the captain of the 5th Division, who had come out of nowhere, took Squard's assassination and forced him to retreat. Foil Vista glared angrily. Well, you skewered, we got news that you and Akainu met and were provoked. We still don't believe it. I really didn't expect you to be shocked and shot at Dad. Isn't he just like what Akainu said? To save Ace is an excuse to destroy us pirates as cannon fodder. Skewered failed to hit, and was very angry. Boom tilde, sound. Whitebeard in front heard Squard's words. He looked at Akainu with cold eyes, and couldn't help but feel fortunate. Fortunately, Baizi reminded him, otherwise he might have fallen for Akainu's tricks today. Hee hee, a joke, you said I betrayed my sons. Stop joking. One punch shattered the ice wall, and Whitebeard took the lead in personally confronting him, knocking down the giant John Vice Admiral of the Marine headquarters first, and punching the thousands of Marines who were at the forefront with another punch. Directly open up a straight road to the captains behind. One blow, the wind whistled, and the entire Marineford, Marine headquarters and the surrounding seas were changed drastically. Looking at Whitebeard's desperate appearance, Skewered fell to his knees with a plop, and slammed his fists on the ground in annoyance. What did he just do? So, he was completely suspicious of Dad, and he even shot at Dad. Hesitant Akainu's conspiracy was exposed, and many pirates screamed one by one, slaughtering towards Marine, more aggressive than before. There was another scuffle on the field. There is no doubt that Kuzan, Akainu and Kizaru launched a frantic attack on Whitebeard one after another. Their purpose was to kill the self-proclaimed strongest man. As long as Whitebeard is dead, the remaining squad leaders will not be able to make any waves. The repeated battles, Whitebeard's face became paler and paler. After all, his health was very bad before. Now, the long-term overloaded battle has obviously aggravated his injury. Seeing this, the three of Akainu Kizaru looked at each other, and their eyes flashed with cold light. Obviously they all realized something, and immediately made a move that was even more ruthless. A certain moment, Whitebeard had just blocked Kuzan and Kizaru's attack, and the shady Akainu made a sneak attack, and the fierce magma fist smashed Whitebeard into a chill. And this time, Whitebeard, who was seriously injured, was out of physical strength and was shot by Kizaru's radium again. And this Whitebeard was able to cut down and cut through Kizaru to give Luffy, who had already come to the battlefield to join the war, a chance to get on stage to save Ace. Finally, Luffy got his wish and saved Ace, and the two brothers meet at last. Indeed, just when Whitebeard used his last strength to cover his men's retreat, Akainu angered Fire Fist Ace, and Ace challenged him on impulse. At a certain moment, the sinister Akainu repelled Ace and tried to take a shot at Luffy. Between the sparks of the TV, Ace's face was pale, and it was too late to fight back, and he directly resisted the blow of Akainu magma with his fleshly body. No tilde. When Luffy saw Ace standing in front of him, his pupils shrank and he let out a hoarse roar. Whitebeard, Marco and the others looked around and saw Akainu slammed a punch at Ace. Their faces turned pale. Ace, Captain. Get out of the way tilde. Everyone's voice was hoarse, and their expressions changed, but Akainu's mouth curved into a playful arc. As for Garp's fists in Marine headquarters, his eyes were full of pain. Boom tilde tilde. Just when everyone thought that Ace was about to be killed, the expected sound was not heard, but a very dull sound. Next moment. Akainu, one of the three very powerful Marine admirals, was actually repelled by more than 10 meters, and there was an extra figure in front of Ace. The captain of the 3rd Division, Jozu, saw the figure. His face was overjoyed, and he screamed in surprise. Ryokugyu. That person is Ryokugyu who killed Charlotte Smoothie, the 3 desert generals. Many captains and members of the Whitebeard pirates, even when Whitebeard saw Ryokugyu, the corners of his mouth twitched, Baizi and the others. Finally here tilde. Chapter 35 against Marine 3 Admiral, the legendary hero Garp shot. Ryokugyu. The name of a man, the shadow of a tree. As soon as Jozu said this, not only the Whitebeard pirates, but also Marine looked at him. As expected. On Ace's side, a man whose fists were covered with a rising blue liquid appeared, and the blue liquid Marine was all too familiar with, because before, it was the poisonous fruit of Magellan, the warden of their Marine Impel Down. Have the ability. Haha, that guy covered in magma is so strong and a good opponent. Ryokugyu stared at Marine Admiral Akainu, who was repelled by him. Of course he didn't know him. When Ryokugyu said this, everyone in the audience boiled. This guy knocked Marine Admiral Akainu back with one punch. Immediately, Ryokugyu turned his head to Ace and Luffy and said, "You two boys follow and leave. If the captain is not optimistic about you two, I will not bother to pay attention to you. Go quickly, don't disturb the uncle's fight." Ace, Luffy. Ryokugyu not far away, their eyes widened with the same expression. This man is very strong. However, the captain in his mouth is. Jozu immediately came to Ace and the two of them, making sure they were all right, and then he breathed a sigh of relief. This person is the deputy captain of the red-haired 14th Cadre by Z, an existence comparable to Admiral. Huh, Shanks. You said, the big guy who saved us is the deputy captain of Shanks' cadres. Luffy was the first to hear it, and immediately became furious. See Gao Yi, Shanks' men are already so strong, so strong. Jozu. Meow, how can the red-haired subordinates be so strong? Just this Bai Z Cadre Niu Cha, although the other people are also very good, but compared to Bai Z, it is obviously more than a star and a half. Are you Ryokugyu? In the field, Akainu, who was forced to retreat, narrowed his eyes. Of course, he knew about this traitor. The dignified Marine Rear Admiral had actually entered the pirates' command, which undoubtedly slapped the entire Marine in the face. Scoff tilde. If you want to beat a horse, you can beat it, beat a ball. Ryokugyu immediately stepped on the ground. Marine Rokushiki shaved directly and skillfully used it, instantly activating the poisonous fruit, and punching Akainu suddenly again teleported. Akainu, who was smashed out like a cannonball again, was completely irritated. Boy, you are courting death. Open black lens bracket meteor volcano close black lens bracket. Akainu, who was in a rage, immediately used the big trick, meteor volcano, and this time meteor volcano was obviously much smarter than last time. Ha ha ha, this is cool. Poison dragon is now. Ryokugyu immediately punched outright, and 3 huge dragon-shaped poisons appeared in the air, and the poisonous dragon used by Ryokugyu was much more powerful than Magellan before. Instant, Akainu's meteor volcano and Ryokugyu's poisonous dragon collided, and the endless pressure swayed to the 4 poles. Marine and the pirates were all dumbfounded. This sudden appearance of Ryokugyu can actually face the hard steel Akainu, such a strength is absolutely admiral level. Wow, ha ha ha, Ace, look, that's the prisoner of Impel Down, the same as what I saw. Luffy's eyes widened. He had been to Impel Down before, just waiting for him to leave on the 5.5th floor. When I came out with Ivankov, the entire Impel Down had been turned upside down. Straight Jinbei, Crocodile, Katarina Tippin, Bacchus shot, Sanyuan Wolf. Impel Down before, and took a deep breath. He knew exactly who these people were. My God, with so many people coming to Marineford, Marine is probably going to be in big trouble, and these people won't have a good opinion of Marine. I didn't expect Impel Down to detain so many criminals. 3 warships, let's say there are tens of thousands of people, Baizi's cadre is big enough. Jozu looked at the more than 10,000 criminals in prison uniforms. A hungry tiger rushed towards Marine. Hey yo-yo tilde. Marine traitor, Fujitora Isho, you killed Magellan. Kizaru, who was fighting with Whitebeard, also stopped and looked at Fujitora Isho without teasing. And hearing this in Fujitora's ears, it directly angered his bottom line. Without the slightest hesitation, Fujitora Isho attacked Kizaru as fast as lightning, and before he could react, the knife beam had already cut Kizaru in half. Psi tilde. Admiral level combat power, another one. Many pirates and marines around were all stunned, staring at the field with dull eyes. As for Luffy's eyes full of admiration and envy, after not seeing him for a few years, Shanks' subordinates have become so powerful. Old man, Fujitora Isho, I want your life. Without the slightest expression fluctuation, Kizaru and Fujitora Isho formed a gravitational barrier within a radius of 100 jong in an instant. Observation Haki felt that Kizaru, who was in the gravitational barrier, finally had a dignified expression, because Fujitora Isho, who called himself an old man, gave him an extremely dignified expression. Intense danger. As for Sengoku the Buddha on the execution platform, seeing Ryokugyu and Fujitora Isho who fought with Akainu and Kizaru successively, the corners of his mouth twitched and his eyelids twitched wildly. Damn, this should belong to their Marine's combat power, damn it. Sengoku the Buddha's bowels of remorse are turning green at this moment. If he had known this, he would have started early. Now it's better, and there are two more confidants. Open black lens bracket ice time close black lens bracket. Quote. Suddenly, a layer of frost appeared on Baizi's body, but before the frost spread, the star of Kuro juiced fruit beside Baizi surged out, instantly dissolving ice time. Captain, can Kuzan give me a hand tilde? Star of Kuro stared at Baizi with anticipation. He raised soldiers for 1,000 days and used them for a while. He had received such a big favor from Baizi, and he had to repay him, otherwise he would not be able to forgive himself. Yes, but be careful. Experience is the main thing. Baizi glanced at Kuzan on the opposite side. During this time, Kuro Star was under the pressure of Ryokugyu's abnormality, and he used the recovery potion. He can be said to be the real version of Xiaoqiang who can't be killed. It's great, I have the opportunity to fight against Kuzan Admiral, I must not be careless, and I can't live up to the captain's cultivation of myself. For a time, 3 of Baizi's subordinates directly hit Marine's 3 admirals. The situation was so strange that Whitebeard, who was severely injured, was relieved that no one attacked for a while. Jiu la 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 la, little friend Baizi, your subordinates are really strong. It seems that you are the 5th emperor in the future. Whitebeard was very happy. It can be said that if it weren't for Baizi today, all of them would be afraid it won't be so easy. Garp, it looks like it's your turn to take action. Tsuru Vice Admiral said to Garp next to him when the 3 admiral were restrained. I know. Garp glanced at Crane. Due to his position and identity, he had to take action. Of course, he was relieved to see Ace being rescued. After a while, Garp came to the opposite side of Baizi. Ace and Luffy looked complicated, but they could only wait for the situation to develop, hoping that this Baizi cadre could deal with their grandfather. Chapter 36 The Ultimate Mystery of Marine Rokushiki. The boy called Baizi, you are very good. Personally, I, Garp, should thank you. After all, you saved my 2 grandsons, Ace and Luffy. Garp did not shy away from speaking the truth. Even Baizi had to admit that although Garp was stubborn, he's still a good person. However, as Marine Vice Admiral, I will do my best to defeat you. Garp clenched his iron fist. Although he didn't know the strength of this young man who was about the same age as his grandson, he could be spotted by the redhead, and to be able to take Fujitora Isho Ryokugyu under his command is definitely not bad. Therefore, Kuku did not dare to slack off. Kid Baizi, be careful. Garp's eyes gleamed brightly. His identity and position were already doomed that he would not be able to keep his hands today, and after today, he would resign as Vice Admiral from Marine Headquarters and take a back seat. He is tired. Today's game is also my last time to fight against pirates as Vice Admiral. Suddenly, Garp thought of his past experiences, of his old enemy Roger, of becoming a legendary hero with his passion from a soldier. No hesitation at the moment, just use Marine Rokushiki, shave, and instantly push armament Haki to the extreme. The next moment is already in front of Baizi, and the fiery punch traverses the space and turns into a black light and blasts towards Baizi. Just as Garp punched Baizi, Baizi's body was like a piece of white paper, and he easily avoided him. Garp's right fist, which contained armament Haki, failed, and immediately blasted out on the ice. A huge pit of more than 5 feet. Looking at the giant pit of 5 feet, the corners of Ace Luffy's mouth twitched. Obviously, this was much more ruthless than when he beat them. The old man is really moving. Compared to Ace Luffy's horror, Garp, who missed the punch, looked at Bai Zi like a monster, and was greatly surprised. That was Kami-e. Marine-Rokushiki's hardest Kami-e to acquire. Not only Garp, but also many marine elites around, all of them looked at Bai Zi with different eyes. To know the entire marine, there are only a handful of people who can learn Marine Rokushiki Kami-e, and the 14th cadre of the entire red-haired pirates has learned Marine Rokushiki that they have never learned. Especially when there are so many pirates, seeing that Bai Zi has the rarest Kami-e among Marine Rokushiki, everyone's eyes are full of fanaticism since then. Meow, this is a face slap. Marine legend heroes with Marine Rokushiki, many Marines, faces suddenly felt hot and painful, including Sengoku the Buddha. At this time, Sengoku the Buddha, with wide-eyed eyes filled with incredible Marine Rokushiki open black lens bracket Kami-e close black lens bracket. Quote. How is this possible? If there is no systematic teaching, outsiders can't control the essence of Kami-e. This guy, where did he learn it before? What a terrible talent. Sengoku the Buddha was completely stunned by Bai Zi's manipulation. Only the word, talent, could explain what was happening in front of him. Marine Rokushiki is divided into Iron Nugget, Shaved, Kami-e, Moon Step, Renkyaku, Tempest Kick and Shigen, Finger Pistol. Among Rokushiki, only Kami-e is the most obscure. The entire Marine headquarters, there are not many people who can use Kami-e, let alone those who can use Kami-e like Bai Zi. They don't have a single one in the entire Marine. To know. The man on the opposite side is the legendary hero Garp. Although he is only a vice admiral, it is because he does not want to be an admiral. Even the current Kuzan was under Garp's a long time ago. Even now Garp is the most respected person in Kuzan, even more than Sengoku the Buddha. Garp was able to chase One Piece, King of Pirates Roger all over the world. You can imagine how powerful Garp is. Good boy, to learn Kami-e like this, then I can attack with confidence. Boy, look at the trick. Garp came back to his senses, his eyes were bright, this kid was far better than he expected, and immediately Shaved and Moon Step attacked one after another. Renkyaku, Tempest Kick Shigen, Finger Pistol attacked in succession. In an instant, the dense attack was directed towards Shirazawa, and the Garp attack of Marine Rokushiki Vice Admiral S4 style incisively and vividly. Shirazawa Kami-e was still the same. Congratulations to the host Marine Rokushiki for upgrading to level 10. Marine Rokushiki in Bai Zi's mind was upgraded to level 10, the corners of his mouth curved, and he finally reached level 10. Marine Rokushiki has been upgraded to level 10, and Bai Zi's mind is also full of the ultimate meaning of Marine Rokushiki after the full level. Open black lens bracket fist bone meteorite close black lens bracket. Garp clenched his fist with his right hand, and the full-level armament Haki burst out, exuding an extremely dangerous aura, which was enough to threaten Admiral, and was mixed with the blessings of Rokushiki and Moon Step, and the attack power was afraid that even Akainu all are different. Marine Rokushiki Ultimate Esoteric, 6 Kings Spear. Fully mastering Marine Rokushiki, Bai Zi, with the mentality of trying, directly used the ultimate meaning, 6 Kings Grab, and suddenly bombarded with Garp. Loud bang tilde. With the two at the center, a cobweb-like crack spread out in an instant. 1 foot. 5 feet. 10 feet. 20 feet. ... The crack had already spread to 50 feet, and armament Haki on the other side was pushed to the extreme, and Garp, blessed by Marine Rokushiki, didn't have the slightest stagnation, and immediately turned into a meteor and slammed into Marineford's city wall. It was abruptly embedded in it. Seeing this scene, everyone took a deep breath. Sengoku the Buddha stood up from his seat in a flash, and looked at Bai Zi, who was punched by Vice Admiral Garp, in disbelief. Marine Rokushiki Ultimate Profound Truth. 6 King Spears. That guy actually used Marine Rokushiki to such a situation. The ultimate mystery of the legendary marine Rokushiki. This is just a theory summed up by their marine. No one has ever resorted to it. Today, it actually appeared on a pirate. At this moment, Sengoku the Buddha, who is in this situation, really doesn't know what to say. The ultimate mystery that their marine is proud of has been used by pirates. This is tantamount to another slap. Slapped in the face and slapped their marine in the face. PFF sound. Garp broke free from the city wall, spit out a pool of blood, and his face turned pale. Today's battle, he was really happy, although he forced the blood out, but he did this for marine enough. Ahem. Marine Rokushiki Ultimate Essence. Six Kings Spear. What? The theory can actually be practiced. Garp looked at Baizi again, and immediately had a new understanding. It might not be a bad thing for Ace and Luffy to befriend this person in the future. See Gaoyi, what a powerful punch, my grandfather was knocked out. Luffy's eyes were bright, it was too powerful, is this the strength of Shanks' cadres? Marine Rokushiki's ultimate mystery, Six Kings Spear, this guy is outrageous. Ace also swallowed his saliva, and was obviously shocked by the scene on the field. The cadre Baizi who had rescued him was so strong, at least as strong as the deputy captain Ben Beckman. Chapter 37 _ The Battle of the Top changes again. The ultimate mystery of Marine Rokushiki. Six Kings Gun. Can participate in the Marineford siege and suppression of Whitebeard and his party are the elite members of each branch of the Marine headquarters. They couldn't be more familiar with Marine Rokushiki. This ultimate mystery can be said to be the highest honor for Marine Rokushiki practitioners. No one has succeeded since Marine Rokushiki was created. Because, in order to use Marine Rokushiki, you must master and use Marine Rokushiki extremely skillfully, and it can be said that the conditions are quite harsh. The most difficult of all is the mastery of Kami-e. It can be said that in the entire Marine, it is estimated that it is difficult for one person in the 100,000 people to master it, let alone master it, and even use all Marine Rokushiki freely. This is why, since the creation of Marine Rokushiki, no one has ever used the ultimate mystery. It's not that it can't, but the conditions for the ultimate mystery need to be used, and the harshness is almost terrifying. This guy, how could it be? Marine Rokushiki's ultimate mystery, bastard, how can this guy know our Marine's ultimate mystery, Six Kings Spear? This should be the symbol of our Marine, how could it appear on a pirate? Provocative, this is definitely provocative. Damn, this guy has played our Marine Rokushiki to such a degree. If this matter is known to the outside world, our Marine headquarters will definitely become the laughing stock of the world. Who is it, who taught Marine Rokushiki to this nasty boy? I will tear him up. Baizi's ultimate Marine Rokushiki, Six Kings Spear, in an instant, hit the faces of more than 100,000 Marine elites like an invisible slap. That's a burning pain. Even the three parties who were fighting stopped when they saw Baizi's hand. Whether it's Akainu, Kizaru, or Kuzan, all eyes are full of surprise. No wonder they do, because even if they are outside of Marine Admiral, although they have mastered Marine Rokushiki, but for Marine Rokushiki's ultimate meaning, Six Kings Spear, to be honest, they still have a long way to go. That Baizi used Marine Rokushiki's ultimate mystery, Six Kings Spear, the seriously injured Whitebeard laughed and laughed at Sengoku. Sengoku, my old friend, I didn't expect it, it's really exciting, Marine thought. The proud Marine Rokushiki was not only fully mastered by little friend Baizi, but also used the ultimate mystery, Six Kings Spear. Quote, the most important thing is that your legendary hero Garp was defeated by Xiaoyu Baizi with your proudest, Six Kings Spear. It's really cool, Whitebeard's wanton sarcastic laughter pierced the hearts of Sengoku and the more than 100,000 Marines like a steel thorn. Click. A crisp sound, the armrest of the chair beside Sengoku was immediately crushed into pieces, and his soaring anger stared at Whitebeard angrily. Damn. This old guy is still alive. Many Marines heard Whitebeard's voice. Their lungs exploded with anger. They stepped on horses and exposed their shortcomings. Whitebeard was too shameless. However, the eyes of everyone in the pirate group under Whitebeard's that looked at Baizi all changed. Among the more than 10,000 prisoners who were rescued by Baizi from Impel Down, the eyes looking at Baizi were full of admiration and admiration. Fanaticism. Marine Rokushiki Ultimate Esoteric, 6 Kings Spear. Let me be darling, this guy turns out to be so strong, that's Marine's most proud trick. No wonder. No wonder even Fujitora Isho and Ryokugyu are under his command, so powerful, to be honest, they are really tempted. Among them, Baizi's subordinates, Kuro Star and his party, looked at their captain, and they all jumped up with excitement. This is their captain, their cadre. Motherfucker. Powerful. Invincible. Too strong. The ultimate meaning of Marine Rokushiki, Neong Exipes, the wisest choice they made in their life was to voluntarily join the captain's boss Baizi's subordinates. Hey, the captain is amazing. It's so dick. When Fujitora Isho and Ryokugyu stopped, they were stunned when they saw Baizi easily use the ultimate Marine Rokushiki, 6 King Spear. Of course, Fujitora Isho used observation haki. Both of them knew very well that they were not the captain's opponents, but they never imagined that this young captain could hide such a powerful means. To be honest, if the target of this hand is them, they are probably not much better than Garp, and even more embarrassed than him. At this moment, more than 10,000 eyes of Marineford all focused on Baizi, who suddenly appeared on the battlefield, the 14th cadre of the red-haired pirates. It can be said that the entire chaotic battlefield was stopped because of Baizi's hand. 1 second. 3 seconds. 5 seconds. Clap 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 tilde. Right here, a crisp clapping sound came, followed by a stern voice, as expected of the kid who killed Jack. Marina Rokushiki's ultimate meaning, 6 Kings Spear tisk tisk, a good method tilde tilde. The voice fell, and 2 figures appeared in the field at an unknown time. The one who spoke was a man in black clothes, with a pair of black feather wings behind him, a knife hanging from his waist, and flames around his body. Next to it is a tattoo with the word Queen and the logo of the Beast Pirates on the right arm, and a mechanical arm on the left arm. These 2 people are none other than the other 2 disasters under the banner of the 4 Emperor Kaido of the Beasts, and each of them is stronger than Drought Jack. The one who spoke before was Yan Jahan, and the one next to him was Epidemic Queen. When the 2 appeared, there was even a riot in the field. That's OMG, what did I see? Kaido of the Beasts, Fire and Plague, God, they're here for Baizi. Neong Exipes, absolutely, that kid killed Jack of the Drought, one of the 3 plagues, before. Yeah, bah, the 4 emperors Kaido of the Beasts also intervened tilde tilde tilde. There are more than 100,000 pirates and marines in the Marineford field, and their eyes are all staring out. Not to mention the flames, they are the second-ranked queen of the epidemic. This person has been offered a reward of up to 1.32 billion Bailey by the Marine headquarters. These 2 are no less than 2 Marine Admiral. The situation is about to turn around again. Boy Baizi, if you have the guts to kill my smoothie sister, I will take your life today. The hot discussion about the frying pan started, another voice rang out from the side of the Marineford field, and suddenly everyone looked around. In the next instant, Chi-Chi took a deep breath again. 4 Emperor Charlotte Linlin, Desert 3 Stars Katakuri and Cracker. The eyes of Marine and many pirates opened again, and the corners of their eyes were about to crack. The 4 Emperors Charlotte Linlin also shot. Chapter 38_Sabo arrives and a Kainu is captured. Marineford. In countless battlefields, the pirate marine stared blankly at the 4 people who surrounded Baizi. Ember, Plague Queen, Katakuri and Cracker are 2 desert stars. The twists and turns, Baizi, who had an advantage in the first place, became the most dangerous area in an instant. Fujitora Isho, Ryokugyu and Kuro Star saw this and hurried back to rescue. However, The three Akainu sneered at the corners of their mouths. Rescue? How is it possible? Obviously, although they were a little surprised that all four of them were present, one thing they could be sure of was that Bai Zi was dead today. All they have to do is simply not let the three of them go to disrupt. Fuck. Mad. Magma boy, you are courting death. Ryokugyu, who wanted to get away to rescue, saw the monstrous magma appearing in front of him, and immediately went berserk, bang 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 bang, and started again with Akainu, Ryokugyu's endless anger sword. Fujitora Isho and Kuro Star on the other side received the same treatment. Jia, it seems that no one can save you. The queen of the epidemic with a bounty of 1.32 billion yuan, the corner of her mouth raised a sinister arc, and she looked at Bai Zi as if she was looking at a dead person. The three of Katakuri did not speak, but the action of blocking the quartet has already explained everything. This time they will definitely not allow this kid to live. Marco, all the subordinates, protect little friend Bai Zi, make sure to keep him safe. Whitebeard with wide-eyed eyes, in addition to anger, the old wound recurred, a mouthful of blood sprayed out, and issued an order. Yes, Dad. Kill. Immediately Marco took the lead, turned into an undead bird, and attacked towards the flames of Jin, while Jin used armament hockey with his backhand attached to the blade and slashed it. After a distance of more than 10 meters, it stopped. Go on, Kadri Bai Zi is the benefactor of our Whitebeard pirates, and he will try his best to protect him. Kill tilde. Marco was slashed by the fire disaster. Not only did not make the captain and members of the Whitebeard pirates flinch, but even more crazy. Instant, the war was raging, and all kinds of moves were slammed towards the Katakuri 4, and the 4 Katakuri were all scornful arcs of mouth. Open black lens bracket dragon's breath close black lens bracket. When the battle was raging, a figure appeared among the 4 at an unknown time, and it was revealed from the mouth. The suddenly appeared figure's arms and forearms were wrapped around the thick armament hockey, and then the fists touched the ground, and then touching the ice surface with an inch strength 0 distance, he punched out instantly. All of a sudden. With this person and Bai Zi as the center, a wave of air swept away, and the ice surface beneath his feet collapsed and splashed like a dragon's breath. It's really lively here. The air wave dissipated, and a flat voice rippled out, and Ace Luffy, who heard this voice, followed his reputation. Sabo. You're not dead. Ace Luffy saw the young man appearing beside Bai Zi, although his face was more stable, but the two people who came to know him recognized at a glance that it was Sabo. Ace, Luffy, long time no see. Sabo showed his gentle Isho, but Sengoku the Buddha looked at Sabo with deep eyes. Second in command of the Revolutionary Army, I really didn't expect you all to come in this muddy water. As soon as Sengoku said this, more than 10 figures appeared around the 4 of Katakuri. Even Garp looked weird when he saw Sabo and muttered to himself, I didn't expect that kid. Sabo was sent. Ah tilde. It's him, the second in command of the Revolutionary Army, Sabo. Besides the Revolutionary Army dragon, the most dangerous person in my marine is him. That's right. The Revolutionary Army has come. This. Sabo had already appeared, and many people in the field recognized his identity. After all, Marine paid a lot of attention to the high-level officials of the Revolutionary Army. When Ace Luffy heard this, he stared at the familiar and somewhat unfamiliar Sabo with wide eyes. Second in command of the Revolutionary Army. Especially Luffy, staring at Sabo in the field with wide eyes. Sabo is Dad's subordinate. Luffy opened his mouth wide, his eyes filled with disbelief. He also learned from Ivankov that his father was the leader of the Revolutionary Army, and he never imagined that his childhood friend and sworn brother would be so great. Ace also looked at Sabo, who was killing all sides in the field, and intuitively told him that Sabo at this time was probably stronger than him. Sabo glanced at the 4 Katakuri around him, and waved to the dozen or so Revolutionary Army cadres he brought around. Even when the 4 of them were surrounded by Katakuri, his eyes swept over Bai Zi without a trace. Mr. Bai Zi is my Revolutionary Army. My friend, if you want to deal with Mr. Bai Zi, you must pass my Sabo level. Wow tilde. As soon as these words came out, everyone around took a deep breath. All eyes gathered on Baizi. What did they hear? Sabo, the Revolutionary Army is here for Baizi, the cadre of the red-haired pirate group. Could it be that the Revolutionary Army has reached some kind of agreement with the red-haired pirate? Gulala tilde. Seeing the dozen or so revolutionary soldiers who surrounded Katakuri, Whitebeard laughed and looked at Sengoku sarcastically. I really didn't expect the dignified marine to collude with the four emperors. Tisk tisk, what an eye-opener today. Hardy Isho, Whitebeard looked at Baizi a little deeper. Others didn't know, but he knew very well that the red-haired temperament could not have anything to do with the Revolutionary Army, and the red-haired was disdainful because he had own paranoid pride. Based on this analysis, half of the cadres of the Revolutionary Army came to Marineford this time, I'm afraid. For Baizi. However, what Whitebeard couldn't figure out was what method Baizi used to get in touch with the perverted Guy Long. This kid seems to have greatly underestimated his energy. Even Baizi was startled by Vivi. He didn't expect the second-in-command of the Revolutionary Army, Asen Luffy's brother Sabo, to appear here, but this matter should have something to do with Koala. Don't worry, Mr. Baizi, leave these four to me. Sabo's posture is very good, because on the way back, he has a detailed understanding of Baizi's information. It can be said that Baizi gives him the same feeling as Long gives him, unfathomable. Thank you. Don't shoot, of course it's better. Said that, although Sabo's strength is not as high as that of Katakuri and the others, but among the more than 10 cadres he brought, the weakest are Sabo first level, and some of them are much stronger than Sabo, which is close to Marine Admiral's level. Obviously, although Sabo's strength is not the strongest among them, his prestige is definitely the highest. Without any fuss, more than a dozen cadres of the Revolutionary Army immediately fought with the four Katakuri. Magma boy, let me die. Roar resounded throughout Marineford, and with the roar, Ryokugyu slammed Akainu's mouth and smashed it to the ground, with terrifying combat power and the comprehensive ability of poisonous fruit. Next, the mighty Marine Admiral Akainu was defeated, like a dead dog, pulled by Ryokugyu's collar towards Baizi. Chapter 39 Killing Akainu, Sabo Opportunity. A bang. Ryokugyu went mad. With the blessing of poisonous fruit, his combat power was like a rocket, and Marine Admiral Akainu was severely injured by him. Even the ability of magma fruit could not be used. It was really Ryokugyu to be abused into a red dog. The change in Ryokugyu's battle circle immediately shocked everyone in the field. Kizaru on the other side dodged and directly exited the battlefield of Fujitora Isho. Kuzan also stopped. It is really Akainu's capture, the impact on them is too great. Not only Kizaru and Akainu, but also the four people who were planning to fight, Yanlin, Epidemic Queen, Katakuri, and Cracker, also kept a safe distance from more than 10 revolutionary troops, and be vigilant. Apparently Akainu's defeat also made them feel a little clueless in their hearts. Thinking of the first year of high school. Akainu Admiral got taken out by that big guy. Luffy's eyes were round, and he stared at Ryokugyu with adoring eyes. That man was so strong. Shichibukai, who fought against many pirate officials, also stopped fighting at the same time, and looked at Ryokugyu with fearful expressions. Even Akainu is no match for that guy. Shichibukai like them are even more dangerous. They came here because of their relationship with Marine, so they didn't have to work hard for Marine. Boom tilde, sound. Ryokugyu unceremoniously threw the dead dog like Akainu in front of Shirasawa, and then guarded Shirasawa like Fujitora Isho. As for the Kuro Star, the three of them form a triangle and guard Baizi in it. In such a scene, the eyes of Yan Zanjin and Katakuri jumped. Obviously, their chances of winning against Baizi have been reduced to the extreme. They even had their lives in it. After all, both Fujitora Isho and Ryokugyu have faint beyond the strength of Marine Admiral, plus these hateful Revolutionary Army cadres. After thinking about it for a moment, they came to the conclusion that in this situation, the chances of them succeeding in killing Baizi were almost zero. Ship, Captain, what should we do with Akainu? It's better to force him to evacuate. After all, the goal has been achieved. Kuro Star frowned and asked. After all, the purpose of their trip was to save Ace. As this. Baizi glanced at Akainu, who was lying on the ground with a sluggish breath, like a dead dog, and used his hand to defy gravity. When he was about to lift Akainu in his hand, he used the shock fruit and the gravity fruit in his right hand, and exerted force. With a bang. Akainu, one of the 3 admirals of Marine's headquarters, made countless pirates terrified. It was directly broken into pieces by Baizi, blood was dripping on the ground, and at the same time, there was a magma-colored devil fruit in Baizi's hand. This devil fruit is nothing but the magma fruit that separated from Akainu's body after killing it. Baizi's move shocked Kuro Star, and even Ryokugyu and Fujitora Isho were shocked. Meow, the captain is on a horse, just kill Akainu. That's one of the 3 admirals in the Marine headquarters. If you say kill without even blinking your eyelids, it's crazy. Even Sengoku himself stared at the field with wide-eyed eyes filled with disbelief. Akainu was actually killed. Whitebeard never had a chance before, but now he was killed by this Baizi. Asshole. The loss of their marine is too great. Not to mention countless elites, even Admiral Akainu was killed. He couldn't accept this heavy result. Even Garp's mouth twitched. Motherfucker, this kid is really good. That kid Akainu kills him if he wants to kill him. Although he doesn't like Akainu, it's not enough to let him die. The whole world fell into a dead silence. Fujitora and the others were blinded, Whitebeard was stunned, Marine was dumbfounded, and the pirates' hearts were about to explode with excitement. 1 second, 10 seconds, half a minute. Baizi's eyes fell on Sabo, and he laughed. This time I will trouble you, Revolutionary Army, and nothing else. I will give you this magma fruit. I believe that with the ability of magma fruit, this second in command of the Revolutionary Army is worthy of his name. After the plain words, Baizi threw his right hand, as if he threw an insignificant item, and landed in Sabo's hands accurately. Fujitora, wait a moment. Whitebeard et al. Katakuri 4. Countless marine pirates. Shit tilde. Fuck tilde. Who I am. Where am I? They are not dreaming. What have they experienced? Magma fruit. The magma fruit of Marine Admiral Akainu, who was killed by Baizi, was actually given away by Baizi. Do not know. This time, more than 10,000 people at the scene said they couldn't understand it. Such a powerful fruit. It can be said that it is the fruit that everyone present dreamed of, but now it has been handed out by Baizi like a gift. Meow, isn't it delicious to eat by yourself tilde? This. Are you sure you give me this? Sabo himself is more like a dream. He is extremely sure that it is the first time he and the Baizi in front of him have met, and the two seem to have nothing to do with each other. Why did he give himself such a big gift? For him, happiness really comes too suddenly. Of course. If you don't want it, I can give it to my crew. Baizeshao looked at Sabo, who was stunned and confused, and Sabo's expression was very rich at that moment. Yes, of course. When Sabo heard Baizi's conviction, he immediately protected the magma fruit, and without any hesitation, directly swallowed the magma fruit. Mr. Baizi, thank you very much. Today you not only saved my brother Ace, but also gave me a great opportunity. In the future, feel free to say hello wherever I need it. On the premise of not compromising the purpose of the Revolutionary Army, I can do anything for Mr. Baizi. Of course, Sabo will not enjoy such a great favor out of thin air, and he will make an oath now. As you wish. Baizi didn't refuse or agree. Originally, he did what he wanted, not with any kind of repayment mentality. Of course, if he had some intentions, he would have a closer relationship with the Revolutionary Army. As for Marine, Baizi doesn't care about it at all. Even if he doesn't kill Akainu, he and Marine will still be enemies of life and death in the future. After all, there was already the matter of Magellan, the warden of Impel Down. Sabo digested the newly obtained magma fruit, controlled his right fist and turned it into magma like a kainu. With such strength, Sabo felt that no one in the Revolutionary Army was his opponent except the leader, and his eyes could not help falling on Katakuri. For the four of them, their grasp of this task has increased by a few %. Chapter 40_Repel Blackbeard, Retreat After Break. The hot magma rose, and the surrounding temperature soared several degrees. Just holding the magma fruit at this moment is no longer a kainu, but has become Sabo, the second in command of the Revolutionary Army after the leader. Its combat power is also close to that of Fujitora Isho and Ryokugyu. One dares to send, one dares to use. The scene between the two, as if the entire marine didn't exist, Sengoku almost spurted out every mouthful of blood. These two boys, arrogant. So arrogant. Baizi couldn't help but fall on the dead Katakuri with a gloomy forehead, and jokingly said, "Are the four of you waiting to kill me, Baizi? But think about it before you start. Don't be your partner in hell. See? I've already killed one and don't care about another." The dull voice pierced the air and lingered, rippling in the ears of the four of Katakuri, one by one with chills on their backs, and their 12 trillion hairs stood upside down. They have no doubts about the authenticity of Baizi's words, because this guy can really do it. Katakuri narrowed his eyes and stared at Baizi for a long time. "Boy, don't be complacent. Wait until next time. Katakuri will definitely kill you to avenge my sister Smoothie." Fists clenched, Katakuri is tyrannical, but facing Ryokugyu who can solve a kainu and Fujitora Isho who is no weaker than Songyu Ryokugyu, and Baizi himself is also very strong, he can't guarantee that he can kill him. Then, he winked at Cracker, and the two wisely retreated. Blazing Ember and Plague Quinn. Seeing Katakuri retreat, Jin and Jin didn't even have the courage to fight Baizi to the death. They watched Baizi for a while, and the two left the battlefield silently like Katakuri. A while. In Marineford, there are only 5 teams left. The Marine Headquarters Elite, the Whitebeard Pirates, Shichibukai, the Revolutionary Army, and Baizi and his party. Although Baizi has 3 parties, the number is still less than 1/10 of Marine's. Compared with Marine's elite army of more than 100,000 people, they are still in a weak position. However, Baizi still killed a kainu, fearing that Marine would not let them go. Just when Katakuri and the others had just left, and when everyone's mood relaxed a little, Vivi hid in the dark, like a black-bearded teach in the shape of a poisonous snake. Finally got the timing and attacked Whitebeard with a thorn and a sneak attack. Although the plan was destroyed by that hateful Baizi, he still couldn't stop his determination to get the fruit of shock. And the moment when the defense was slack, it was his chance. In an instant, Blackbeard and many members of his temporary pirate group attacked and killed Whitebeard. The sudden change caught everyone by surprise. But here, Baizi smashed his fist into the direction of the Blackbeard Teach pirates. No one knew it, but he knew very well that this insidious Teach would definitely have a thunderous blow. Covers every inch of Whitebeard with observation hockey on. With a punch, the dozen or so Teach people who were about to attack Whitebeard immediately were smashed and flew out with a bang. What? Impossible. How is it possible? Whitebeard clearly didn't use the shock fruit, just the air shock just now. Teach followed his eyes, and his eyes finally locked on Baizi, who had shown great power before, and his eyes were filled with suspicion. Empty shock. How could that kid make an air shock? Blackbeard, who was under the Whitebeard pirates before, knew too much about Whitebeard's ability to shake the fruit. Baizi, the 14th cadre of the red-haired pirates, used exactly the shake he had always dreamed of. The ability to shake the fruit. And it is precisely because of this reason that he has endured the humiliation for many years to gain the trust of Whitebeard, and finally realized today's plan step by step. At the last moment, when he was about to succeed, he discovered that there was someone other than Whitebeard who could make an air shock. Could it be? Seemed to think of something Blackbeard Teach, and his face suddenly changed. Although there is only one devil fruit of each type, no one has proved it. Satich thought of a possibility, and it was immediately rejected. After all, that the possibility is almost nil. Teach found by Z's attack. Of course, Whitebeard, who was most familiar with the Junjun fruit, felt it even more clearly. His eyes flashed brightly, and his eyes focused on Baizi again, and his eyes were full of surprise. It was just empty shock. That's right, little friend Baizi actually has the same air shock as himself. Okay, Teach, how dare you show up? A single blow. Marco Ace and many other captains immediately guarded the seriously injured Whitebeard and stared at Blackbeard, who had greatly underestimated the strength of this traitor. It is conservatively estimated that Blackbeard's combat power is at least the level of Ace and Marco. A large part of the reason for Ace's defeat before was because he underestimated the enemy. In a real battle in the circle, Ace may not necessarily lose. Captain Marco, Captain Ace, now is not the time to be impulsive. You bring Whitebeard to retreat first, I'll cut it later. Baizi didn't say much, and a dodge appeared directly in front of Marco Ace. Captain, we are with you. Kuro Star and Ryokugyu surrounded them together, and even the pirates on board were about to surround them. Baizi stopped immediately. You all retreat, I will come by myself. Little friend Baizi, did you just? The devil fruit is true. Whitebeard knows more about devil fruit than the average person. Combined with the previous situation, he got a piercing one for the first time. Answer. That's right, now is not the time to hesitate, you should withdraw first. Baizi gave Whitebeard a positive look, but Whitebeard's eyes flashed brightly, and he waved his hand without hesitation. Listen to little friend Baizi, everyone retreats, don't hinder little friend Baizi from making big moves. Quote. Dad. How can we withdraw? Kadri Baizi is very kind to us. I said retreat. Whitebeard couldn't explain it for a while, so he could only forcefully issue a retreat order, but the effect was very good. Although Marco and others had some doubts, they still retreated according to the order. Captain, you. Star of Kuro glanced at Shirasawa deeply, grabbed Ryokugyu and Fujitora, and whispered, Captain will be fine, Marine will suffer a big loss now, let's withdraw first and make room for the captain. That's, well. Fujitora Ryokugyu froze for a moment, then nodded and left the place. As for the other pirates of the red-haired pirates, of course, they saw the captain's operation just now, their eyes glowed, and they evacuated away excitedly, turning their heads from time to time. Looking at their captain, Gengham punched out Blackbeard Teach. Has the ability of the captain to shake the fruit has been used to such a terrifying situation, to kick back more than 10 people such as Teach with one punch. I am afraid that only Whitebeard can do it. Hee, I can't wait to see the captain now. Picture. When everyone sees the ability of the captain to use the shaking fruit, I don't know. How will they react? Hee tilde tilde.